our budget for 2018. Why don't we start with roll call?
Okay. Trustee Muhammad?
Here.
Trustee Stubbs?
Here.
Trustee House?
Here.
Trustee Denton?
Present.
Trustee Pearson?
Here.
Trustee Henyard? Absent.
Trustee Henyard just gave me a call, so she's going to be a little bit late. I just want to read the notice for the public hearing. Notice is hereby given that pursuant to Section 8-2-9 of the Illinois Municipal Code, the mayor and the Board of Trustees of the Village of Darwin, Cook County, Illinois, will hold a public hearing at 6 p.m. That's tonight, August 6th, at the Darwin Village Hall, 14122 Chicago Road, to consider the appropriation ordinance / budget ordinance for the fiscal year commencing May 1st, 2018, and ending April 30th, 2019. Members of the public will be allowed to comment on the proposed ordinance at the public hearing. A copy of this draft appropriation ordinance is available for viewing in the office of the village clerk. Does everyone have a copy of the proposed budget?
There may be some still on the front desk by the agendas for anyone who's interested.
Who can we get to? Can we get to? Is there enough copies there? Okay, thanks. Okay, if we can stand for the public, the Pledge of Allegiance.
Internet.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If you would remain standing, I'd ask that our fire chief lead us in prayer tonight.
Father God, thank you for bringing us together tonight for our meeting tonight. And we hope that everything goes right. And God, give us the wisdom and the guidance to serve the people of Dalton in a great way. And we'd like to thank you, God, for having everybody here tonight. Amen.
Amen.
Should we go in your this?
No, with the public. This is for the public.
Okay. Anyone that would like to make a public comment on the proposed budget and amended budget here, please step up to the mic podium.
Good evening, Mayor, trustees. I just have a really quick question and didn't really have a chance to review this entire budget, but wanting to know if this is passed tonight, will we have an opportunity to see line items of what the breakdown is of all of these expenses? Because it's very general. One in particular that I'm interested in is I think it's line item 0112533, the legal services. What is that encompassing? What legal fees or what services are we going to be paying for? So after this meeting, will we have a more detailed budget of what's being included in these line items?
We should. Trustee Mohammed?
Yes, that'll be covered in the regular board meeting when we go through the budget line item.
Thank you.
Is there anyone that does not understand actually what's in front of you? And there's no need for embarrassment, because some of you may have, this is the first time you've seen a proposed budget. Okay, just go ahead.
I must say, I don't understand everything on it. Are you offering an explanation for us tonight?
You should get an explanation.
Okay.
And apparently, it looks like that's going to happen during our regular board meeting. But one thing I'd like to bring to light to you here is if we go to number 1, it appears that Trustee Muhammad is moving to amend the 2019 budget and appropriation ordinance as follows. And 1 is to delete the following positions from the budget. The first one is in administration. That's in my office. That's my Chief of Staff, Elizabeth Scott. This is a, I thought you distributed this.
No, we proposed the budget that was submitted by the
It's at 6:30.
Okay.
for review. This is
This
brand new.
meeting.
Okay,
Nobody has it but us.
okay.
Internet.
There's a proposal here. There's a proposal here to amend the budget that was as submitted. We just got this probably 7 or 8 minutes ago. Rashad, can you come in? I like to have copies made of this, at least the top sheet, Rashad, at least the top sheet. And I want to pass this out to the resident. So it's going to take a moment. What was that? Take the top sheet. Since the budget has been submitted, apparently between now and then, there's been a amended proposal by Trustee Muhammad to move and vacate a certain number of positions and other items. So that was just presented to us by Trustee Muhammad a few minutes ago. So whatever you have in your hand, you don't have that. And I think the recommended proposal for the amendment by Trustee Muhammad should be passed out to you for your review so you can make comment on that. So it's going to take a few minutes to, I'm sorry, I thought you had that in your hand, but it's going to take a few minutes. I want to at least run off the top sheet with the proposed deletions of positions that will affect the services of the Village of Dalton and your residents. Ed, meanwhile, while we're waiting for that, I want to, hey.
So we had 6:30? No. 6:30, because that relates to the agenda.
Okay.
Things will slow down. Chance of the stuff
You know, he's taking it too soon.
until they bring it up, and then we can do what we need to do.
We can do what? We can do what?
We can start.
Is this everything that you have there that you want us to see?
No. Ms. Creighton, to expedite our process here, I had him just do the top copy rather than 3 copies, rather than the proposal that was given to us. Now, later on, we can photocopy the other ones and get them to you.
Let him deal with that. You're not about to do that, are you?
Everyone's got a copy now? The top sheet? No. Right there. Okay. Pretty much everybody have a copy? Okay. This was just presented, like I said, in the last 10 to 15 minutes. If I can have order, please. Which directly reflects some services that will, if this passes, will be negated here in the village. So what I wanted to do was, since it was just handed out in the last 10 minutes, I wanted to allow the public to quickly review this, because it would defeat the purpose of the public comment if you didn't know exactly what was happening in the last minute proposed changes that they wanted to amend to the budget. So I'm just going to go over this briefly. If you have any public comment, please step to the podium. Okay. This is proposed by Trustee Mohammed. I move to amend the 2019 budget and appropriation ordinance as follows. 1, delete the following positions from the budget. In administration, my Chief of Staff, Ms. Elizabeth Scott. Public relations, I'm not sure who that is. I think it is Mr. Shad Trish, my Director of Communications. The Human Resources Director, this is the person that's responsible for hiring in the Village of Dalton. Next, in Public Works, which is a department that is the busiest besides the police department, that provides services for the village residents. He's proposing that we eliminate the position of superintendent. He's also proposing eliminating the Public Works supervisor. He's also proposing eliminate the 2 laborers. By contract, union contract, we're required to have 19 members. Right now, we're understaffed at 17 members, so this will take us down to 15 members of Public Works. And during the summer and the winter time, it's our busiest season for picking up branches, doing other public services, and also in the winter time for plowing snow and things like that. Originally, some time ago, there were 26 employees in the Public Works Department. We're understaffed now, and it's a department that we really need employees in. Police officers, he wants to eliminate 2 of the vacant positions that's vacant now in the police department. Chief, how many are we understaffed for the last 2 years in regards, 2 to 3 years in regards to retirements and other things?
If I don't have my notes with me, but since September of 2013, we had hired 13 officers. However, we are down 12 of those officers plus 5 part-time officers. So a total of 17 personnel.
So we're down 7. As crime increases and the services of the police department are on demand, we're down 17 officers, and he's proposing to eliminate 2 of the vacant positions. Also, in the water department, he's proposing to eliminate a clerk. As you know, we've had some difficulty in our water department, and we're trying to get it right. I asked the board to approve water meter readers last summer. That was denied, and now you want to eliminate a clerk in the water department. Second, adding the following positions to the budget. Administration, a human resources generalist. Now, I'm not sure what that is, but at $40,000 a year. And a public works manager at $70,000 a year. Now, these proposals to eliminate those positions, he's looking at an effective date of August 7th for the Public Works Superintendent, Chief of Staff, Public Relations, and Human Resources Director. And he's looking at September 28th to eliminate the Public Works Supervisor. So between the time of his proposed amendment, he's proposing that we have no superintendent from August 7th to when he wants a Public Works Manager October 1st. And then we will have no Public Works Supervisor from September 28th until October 1st. Now, here again, the reason that I wanted to present this to you was the fact that for you to provide public comment on it, since it was not dispersed to the residents here. So anybody want to comment on these proposed, and I just went over these proposed items, which are very critical to the operation here in the village of Dalton, to come to the media, to the podium. Yes, ma'am.
I've been out here since 1976, 77. I don't think we need a chief of public relations manager. I don't think we do. I've been cutting the side myself. I pay $200. Every time I call or go to Public Works, they tell me this, it's not the time.
Speaking to the mic.
It's not time. So when is the time? So I had to pay $200 to clean the lot up and keep it clean. And then I have my other neighbors trying to help, where my new neighbor across the street, she had to go get, I don't know, what's your name?
The chief of staff was getting fired.
The chief of staff had to go get her. But why did we have to go get her when the other people should have did their work?
Okay.
So now, to me, she need to go behind them. If they're not doing their work, then she should go behind them. We shouldn't have to keep calling and calling and calling. I mean, to me, our area is getting neglected, and for the past 5 years. 5 years.
Okay. I'm not trying to defend. If you've been calling and calling and have not get a response, we've got an issue there. But I'm saying that if you think it's going to get better by cutting 2 more Public Works people,
they're not doing nothing.
So
they're not doing nothing.
So you want to?
I mean, it's like me. If I go to work and I'm not doing nothing, they're gonna fire me.
Well.
And I was a supervisor at CTA, and if the street wasn't ran right, they called me in the office.
Okay,
they didn't call the other person. So I did the write-up, and if you didn't do anything, you were fired.
Okay.
And that's the way it should be.
So you're saying that the Public Works Department does not do anything?
Not in my area.
Not in your area.
The other day, my neighbor, went up there, and that's the first time I seen her over there, and I had no knowledge that she was over them. But I went to Public Works first, and the girl laughed in my face and said, "It's not time." And I showed her a picture of all the weeds, and she said, "It's not time." I said, "When is time?" She said, "Oh, it's going to be a long time." So the trees, and I got a picture of it. I can show you.
Okay.
And we shouldn't have to live like that.
We need to correct that. But going from 26 people in Public Works down to, the contract requires us to have 19. We're 2 under the 19. And here's another proposal to cut 2 more people.
Well, if they're doing their job, they won't be cut. I'm just letting you know the job's not being done.
Okay. Okay, ma'am. I'm going to the Defense of Public Works. Do they need some improvement? Absolutely. But there's a number of things that they do in the village besides water main breaks, repairing lights, cutting some of these vacant properties. So if they need to do a better job in the area, that's why my chief of staff came out to make sure she has direct contact with the superintendent.
Okay, then we gotta see, but as of now, I've been out here a long time, and I cannot go nowhere else.
Okay.
148th and Ellis, right by I think the mayor's house is like 2 blocks behind mine. And you have seen me how I cut the grass. If I don't cut that lot, it's never gonna be cut. And people dump garbage there, and I gotta clean it up. Because I go to Public Works, they say we can't do that.
Okay. May I address that?
Okay, I do my person.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, hi. I'm actually a boomerang for the village. I lived here for 8 years prior to moving back it's been a year and a half now. I live across the street from Pat, who was just speaking, and we have had plenty of problems with Public Works. Now, I am of the mindset that less staff means less work, so I'm not necessarily in favor of cutting positions. I have been back and forth to the village regarding the lot next to my home, which is just overgrown with growth and bushes and trees and all kinds of foolishness. There's also a couch that's back there. There are people that hang out back there, and something needs to be done. So I finally got in contact with Miss Elizabeth Scott, who is the chief of staff, and she promised that there would be some movement on my issue. We spoke today, and she said that she and the building superintendent did come out and look at the property. She actually came out once before, and she looked at our property, and she says that there definitely needs to be something done. So speaking on her behalf, I don't necessarily believe that she should lose her job. I just want something done stat.
Okay. Thank you.
Good evening. How's everybody doing? Arthur Adams, 14844 Evans. I been around in the community since March of 2018, just doing odd end works for a lot of the residents in Dalton. And I was on 154th in Dorchester, and a guy had a problem with a tree overhanging over his house, and he called Elizabeth Scott, and Elizabeth Scott took care of that problem. So, you know, a lot of the constituents out here in Dalton recognize that Elizabeth Scott is the go-to person when you want something to get done, and I don't see eliminating her position at all. As far as the police department, everybody in Dalton knows that we have a lot of issues out here. People are getting shot. People have been getting robbed. My wife got robbed at my front door. We don't have enough police presence on the streets of Dalton, and I feel that we should be given more police attention out here in Dalton. So I do think that we do need 2 additional police officers. I myself have worked in Public Works. I know all the guys employed in Public Works, hardworking guys. I'm gonna tell you, hands down, they hardworking guys. They do exactly what they can do when they can. And they go as far as cutting trees down. They can't get everybody's trees. And yes, they are definitely understaffed. And they run all day long and in those trucks, and they're not playing around. They fill potholes, they fix sewer main breaks, they cut down trees. They do all kind of good public service for us. But yes, we do need help, because when I was with Public Works, we were 26 strong, and we had a wealth of knowledge in Public Works, which some of them are no longer there. And however, those departments, Elizabeth Scott, I can't say enough about her, because I get great reviews about Elizabeth. And Public Works, those guys out there, they doing their job out there for us, and they're doing the best that they can. and I know all of them personally. And sometimes, a lot of times, they go home very tired, but they get down. We have a water main break, they get down in that hole in sub-zero weather. Anybody ever try that? Sub-zero weather, and the water shooting you dead up in your face in sub-zero weather, and they get down there and do it. So they're saving the village money, because if that water runs, and guess what? That bill, the water bill for the village of Dalton goes up. So they are definitely saving us money. So let's take a look at the labor positions of Public Works, because those guys are going the extra mile for us. Thank you.
Yes, my name's Derek Bibbs on Blue and Drive. I have a problem with the little island. I have to keep calling the village to get it cut. He finally gave me the number to Public Works because he said they cut it. I don't know if it's the lady I talked to, whatever. She said we're limited. I don't want to hear limited. You know, I come out the private workforce. I know what limited means. It means you double up and get the job done. Thank God for Brian Thigpen. You know, he'll pressure them to come cut it. And then they come cut it, and then the trees they need trimming. They just cut the grass and leave. But this is what we pay for. No.
Thank you, sir.
It's me again. Just sounds like we have several issues going on. I don't know that cutting positions is going to be the resolution. I'm thinking that, first of all, I guess I need to ask Trustee Muhammad, what was your rationale on these particular cuts? Why did you choose these cuts?
First, thank you for your question. The mayor gave this out of context. It's much more than just a front page. We do a breakdown of overestimations, underestimations. We talk about the $8 million that's owed to the city of Chicago. If we don't either raise taxes or lay off or do some cutbacks, no one in here wants their taxes raised. We all want city or public services. We all want police officers. If you look at this, we add 7 police officers on here. You're seeing this out of context. There are many more pages attached to this, which we'll go over at the 6:30 meeting. We'll go into detail on every line item, why it was done, what the savings is to the village, and why those positions are being eliminated.
Mayor, can I be recognized?
Yes, go ahead. Oh, Ms.
You
Wells.
can go ahead. I'm patient.
I'm sorry, Ms. Wells.
Okay, go ahead.
Some of the numbers on there I think are disputed. The budget that has been passed out has a $218,000 deficit. That was the one that has been published for the last 10 days through today. There are ways that we can manage with the deficit. There are also proposals that will balance the budget. So the figure of $1 million in a deficit is debatable. I'm in disagreement with that figure, and I think that a cut in staff or a cut in any of these things will be services. And then some of the people that we're talking about, from Ms. Scott, Edward Steve, Mr. Trish, Public Works, everybody works hard and does a good job, and they all have a lot of connections from people that they've done good work for. So I'm not in favor of any of these adjustments.
Now let me add to that also, Ms. Wells, about what the solution is in order to meet budget. They're talking about getting out a bond, doing another bond. But those who don't know what a bond is, just think of a payday loan that we have to pay back. When I say we have to pay back, I'm talking about every person here that resides at 60419 is paying that bond back. There's an idea of floating a bond of $900,000 just to meet your general obligations of every day. We can't keep borrowing to pay bills. You either have to reduce your expenses or you got to increase revenue. We can't continue to increase revenue by continually to raise the levy on the residents of Dalton. We are saddled as it is with the highest rate of a tax in the Southland. We pay more in taxes than Lake Forest, Wilmette, Winnetka. We all want these services. I want more police officers. I want more public service workers that are qualified and handled by a qualified superintendent.
Can I ask a question?
I want to answer your question. You can do as much with 12 as you can do with 19 if they're handled correctly. But the money is the issue. It's not about names. I would rather not bring out names. I would
Right.
tell you the position, and that we cannot afford to do what we've been doing in the past. It's called insanity. You keep doing the same thing and expect something different as an outcome. Einstein said that's called insanity.
Okay, thank you, trustee.
Question
Ms. Wells.
for you. So, again, realizing that there are a number of things that need to be addressed, have you guys met to discuss line items, or was this a decision made by whom? I don't understand, because there clearly is opposition about the suggested cuts. There's clearly opposition about that. Has there been an agreement, or is this just something you're going to vote on tonight without a discussion, or another strategy to make a change? Because as you stated, you do need to eliminate some things, but you're eliminating people's livelihoods too. People got to live, and we got to be conscious of that. Is it a pay cut that you should consider, or is it a position cut you're considering? I'm just asking the question, have you thought about other options, or is this it? Because I don't agree with this either. I don't think that all of these cuts are going to solve our problems. I think that if we look at our spending a little bit more closely, and I'm looking at the line items on the budget that I have questions about, that how are you really spending them, or how's the money, not you personally, but how's the money really being spent? So we really need to look at that before making a decision of messing with people's livelihoods.
And we'll go in, when I answered your question earlier, I said we'll go into that at the 6:30 meeting.
When is it going to be voted on, though? Is it voted on?
Voted on at the 6:30 meeting. That's when the amendments will be added to the budget, and it will be voted on. And if the majority vote, then it goes into place.
It's going to be a long night. Okay, I think that's it for now.
I have a couple of questions. I'm not in favor of anybody losing their job, especially in this economic season.
Can you speak into the mic?
Pardon me?
Yeah.
I'm not in favor of anyone being terminated from their position in the economic season that we are in. Everybody needs their job. Again, like Swell says, people have families and livelihoods to sustain. I've been in this village for 35 years. I've sat under 4 mayors. And I can honestly say that this administration is the worst administration that I've lived up under. Nothing. There's only been maybe about 10 positive things I could speak about this administration and what they brought to this village. But everything else has been havoc. The deficit has never been like this. There's no way that we should owe $8 million to the city of Chicago for water.
Yes, ma'am.
And we pay water bills on a regular basis. And I'm speaking for myself, and I can speak for a lot of other residents. I know that they pay their water bills on time. So why do we have an $8 million deficit? But getting back to these administrative positions, when this administrative came into office, I never understood why we had to have a chief of staff and a public relations person, and not to downplay either one of these positions, because I consider myself a friend to both the individuals that sit in that position. I don't want to see either one of them lose their job, but is there any way that there can be a reduction in salary, not to go in immediate effect, but somewhere down the road to cut some things? Because just to terminate a position, I think that is really rude, especially in a public forum like this, and you're saying effective date is actually tomorrow, that they would not have a job as of tomorrow. I think that's really rude and disrespectful. I can speak highly of Elizabeth Scott. I've worked with her on several events. I know that she does an excellent job. I've always had a problem with the fact that, and several people have stated this, that we do have a public works supervisor, and not to take anything away from Matt Stacy, because I know him personally. I've had some issues with him in the past pertaining to my block, living in the valley and trying to get some things done and not being able to get them done, having to be put on a list, and the list never comes into play. But as far as Elizabeth Scott's capability is concerned, if she has to be called to do things that Public Works does, then I'm in favor of reducing someone out of that position. not so much as the supervisor, but superintendent, but you don't need a superintendent and a supervisor. And if the supervisor is not doing what they're supposed to do, or the superintendent is not doing what they're supposed to do, then there should only be one position in that. Because if Elizabeth Scott can take on a superintendent role and a chief of staff role, then something is wrong with that. If she can be called and go out to where public works should be and look at something and report back to Matt Stacy, and that's not her job, then I see that there's a problem with that. Police officers, I'm in favor of hiring additional police officers. There's too many things that's going on in this village, and we don't have enough personnel to take care of the problem. But again, where is the money coming from? Because every meeting that I've came to, the village is broke, the village is broke, the village is broke. So if the village is broke, then where are we getting the money to pay these salaries? The second thing is, yeah, we do need commerce in this area. We do need more businesses in this area. I consider the community that I live in, and I've watched it go downgrade since I've been here for 30-something years. We don't have any positive business in this community. The only thing that I see that the mayor, I can't speak for the trustees because I know all of them, and I've sat and spoke with all of them and seen some of the things that they've tried to do, and I've seen some positive things that the mayor has brought into this community as well. But why do we have so many liquor stores? Why do we have so many gambling facilities? Why do we have so many lounges? Why do we have so many beauty shops? We could have other things like South Holland has, but the one, South Holland and Homewood, Portillo's was supposed to come here. The reason why they didn't, because they came to a meeting and they watched them sit here and act like little children and animals. They showed them that we could not conduct ourselves as business people, so every business that has wanted to come into this village has left and went in other areas because of who sits in these seats. And unfortunately, we put them there. And I'm guilty as charged because I not only worked on both campaigns, and I came to find out some things that were very ugly, and it's just really sad. You put your trust in somebody and they turn around and show their true colors. So I'm hoping that from tonight's meeting, I don't want to see anybody lose their job. So my suggestion is that you all find a way to cut this budget, reduce some salaries, work out a different proposal, because people have to live.
Good evening, all. I came in not on time. I thought I was on time, but anyway, I heard some cuts, and I am really appalled that we're going to cut the Chief of Staff, Elizabeth. She is one person that you can call at this village, and she'll answer your call, and not only answer your call, she'll take care of your problems the best she can. Now, I can vouch for her, and it's nothing personal, but when I call her, she's right there, and it just seemed to me it's not her job to do that, being the Chief of Staff, but she does. And I don't think she should lose her job. Matt is another person. You called him to do something, he'll try his best to get there and do it. Now, I know he can't get to every house in this village at the same time, but he'll get there when he can, I guess. But I've always called him. He done work for me. I don't mean personal, you know what I mean, on the street or whatever it is that's necessary. And Elizabeth, she's just a sweetheart. When you talk to her, I'll be out there to see her, but I said, no, Elizabeth, that's okay. No, I'll be there. I'll be there, so and so. And when you look around, there she is. And I don't think that's her job, but she does it. So I don't think hers should be cut. I don't think anybody's job should be eliminated. I'm like the lady before that, you can always cut. I worked on a job that was paying quite a bit of money. They said cut, we couldn't cut, we went on a strike, but guess what? We relinquished and we had a cut. And guess what? I stayed there until I retired. But I don't think we should retire anybody. We have 6 trustees. Exactly. 6 trustees now. Are there any, I don't see any cuts, maybe I didn't read well. I just don't see it. Because the way I see them arguing all the time, the cut should be there. I don't know the salary of the trustees, I really don't. But eliminate some of the trustees. Or reduce your salary. If you're so interested in reducing salary, don't reduce salary of people who's doing something. She is doing something. And it's bad to say, I got 2 more days on my job, and that's it. You know, I mean, that's not good. It's not healthy. So you all should think about that. I know 6 trustees sitting up there saying, oh, I got the power to do this, that, and the other. But just like you said, we elected all of you. That's right. And you know, the power was in the pen. Don't forget it.
Good evening, everyone. Just had a question. Chief of Staff, Public Relations, Human Resource Director, Public Works Superintendent, and Public Works Supervisor. So I remember maybe 6 months or a year ago we attempted to, let me take that back. Some of you attempted to cut the salaries. Now from my understanding, these titles or these persons were on contract. So once we made the attempt to cut the salary, then there was an attempt to go to court to say you can't do it because I have a contract.
Let me correct you. None of these employees that are listed here have contracts.
Okay, so what happened the last time that the salary was attempted to be cut? Was there not an attempt to go to court and then it had to be rescinded?
What actually happened, there was an attempt to cut my chief of staff, my media director, and the director of communications. Upon advice of the village attorney, that was backed off because it would involve litigation from those employees being terminated because it was clearly political. So, and I think here today, this last minute proposed amendment to this appropriation is the same thing but in disguise. It's an attempt to get rid of my appointed positions in my office, which is my chief of staff. They put down public relations, but it's our communications director, which does everything from coffee to the mayor, set up appointments with in meetings with dignitaries, other elected officials. The human resources director, I don't know what's going on there in regards to our hiring, and this person does backgrounds to bring on people. A public works superintendent and supervisor. So out of these top 5, are my appointments, and then and I think it's done in disguise to add the 2 vacant positions of the police department and 2 labor positions. Now I want to remind the public that Trustee Mohammed was employed by this village when I came into office. Yeah. And him and 2 other employees were terminated for political reasons. Trustee Mohammed and those 2 other employees pursued legal litigation, and they were awarded a huge sum of money because of the ma'am, why don't you sit down, please? Okay. Well, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine, ma'am. But I'm just telling you like it is that he sued the village along with the other 2 employees, and they were awarded a huge sum of money for them being politically terminated. So here today, he is doing the same thing to these employees because of me. Because of me. And in disguise, he added 2 positions out of labor, out of public works, and 2 vacancies from the police department, and a clerk that we need so badly in the water department. So I just want to bring that to your attention, and I think these terminations are politically motivated, and we're going to wind up in court again with litigation where this village pays out a huge sum of money for them being politically terminated.
Okay, that is actually the point that I was trying to make, Mayor. And I do recall that Matt Stacy was, his name was on there too as a salary cut.
Yes.
Okay, so now I was also looking down here where it says add the following positions to the budget. Administration, human resource generalist. Would that be the same as the human resource director with a pay cut?
I would think so.
Okay. Public works manager, would that be the same as the superintendent or the supervisor with a pay cut?
I would think so. One thing I want to say is that when we had 26 people, there was a superintendent and 2 public works supervisors. And right now, we have, is it 16 or 17 workers, man? 17. By contract, as I said earlier, we're required to have 19. So from 26 to 17, the weeds and the trees have not stopped growing. So we have to manage to try to control and do the services. And we've been fortunate enough in the last year that we didn't have a number of water main breaks. The one year we had 41 water main breaks when the temperature was down below 20 below for approximately 20 days. So we have to look into the future in regards to the demands that's going to be placed on the Public Works Department. So I wouldn't suggest that we do any more cuts. I would suggest that we hire some people. And there's some things that we can do to adjust, just as Trustee House said, to make this thing happen.
Okay. The last thing, you said that they were not under contract, they were appointments.
They were employees.
Okay. Now I'm talking about Chief of Staff and human HR. So in the contract,
there is no contract, ma'am. Okay, I'm sorry.
Wrong term, not contract.
Okay.
But in the hiring manual, are these particular positions at will?
Yes.
Okay. So the budget that we're going to receive today, because I didn't get a copy, so I don't know if it was enough that was passed out, will it reflect the changes of the salary from whatever existed to zero? Do you know that?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I can answer that for you.
Okay,
Mr. Yes. Again, at our 6:30 meeting, which will be a little later, we're at 7 o'clock now, we're going to go over detail of every line item, the savings to the village. We're also going to talk about the debt that we're incurring because we're getting into names and we get into sympathy of an individual's job. That's true. But remember, everybody sitting here that lives in Dalton is paying for the salaries of everyone sitting here, the police officers, everyone you see working for the Public Works and other departments. You can't bring in $18 million a year and spend $22, $23 million.
I agree.
The math doesn't work. It doesn't work. If you bring in an $18 million, you got to spend under $18 million to have some cash reserves for emergencies. So when we do it, which is kind of out of order now, but you know the mayor's running it, at our next meeting we'll go through the line item of each one and explain exactly what it is, at the savings to the village, and also the more officers that we're going to be hiring. And the chief of police is doing a presentation at the next meeting to let you know the officers that he would like to bring on also, and another plan that I would assume that he's going to propose to the board.
Okay, I appreciate that. And the last thing I was going to say about that, with the BP Capital, as we are short in funds, that $30,000 appeared quickly. It appeared within a matter of a few days. So I don't know if that line item was moved from one place to another. If it was and it existed, then maybe there's something else that's somewhere down the line that exists too with moving from one place to another.
Let me answer that for you also. There is no charge to the village of Dalton for BP Capital.
Where did that $30,000 come from?
$1 Not one penny, not one nickel to BP Capital. As a matter of fact, if you stay around to the next meeting, BP Capital is on the agenda, and we're going to talk about BP Capital also, and the number of houses that they have ready to go, that deeds need to be signed that have not been signed. And I believe it's about, what, 18 properties? And we have 6 properties ready to go for Invest in Dalton. So we'll get to that in our next meeting, but we will cover the BP Capital.
Okay, yeah, because I had a question on that 18 that I'll be back.
You know what the cost to the village is for BP Capital? Is that they got those houses free, and we don't get a penny. In other villages, in other towns, when abandoned properties are given, or are usually they're purchased by a developer, the town gets something. Now, their opinion is that, hey, it goes back on the tax rolls in a couple of years. But what's wrong with, if we're going to give you our entire stock of abandoned properties, what's wrong with us maybe getting $10,000 or $15,000 for a property? Because once those properties are rehab, I'm quite sure they're going to bring in over $100,000. So why can't we both benefit? That's the cost it is costing to the village. You want to talk about creative ways of bringing revenue in? That's an excellent way to bring revenue in.
Thank you.
Okay, if there's no more public comment, I'd like to conclude with this public hearing. Okay.
I'm sorry. I keep looking at this budget, and it keeps bringing up questions to me. And Trustee Muhammad, you said we're going to discuss this at the 6:30 or 7 o'clock hour. My question, this is an 11-page document. So we have plenty of line items on here. Are we going to break each one of these down? Because I'm real curious at how this money is being spent. That's an awful long night, and I've worked a full day. So is there a date that we can actually specifically talk about this? It's going to take time. We cannot talk about each one of these line items in 30 minutes.
You want me to answer?
Yes, please.
Okay, the budget has been published at least a week. It's either been on the internet, it's been here on public display.
Published but not discussed. There's two different things. I see it, but I need to understand what each line item is.
And we'll discuss it at the hour meeting. You don't want to do it now because we have to go into the other meeting because that's a big agenda. And when we get to the budget, we'll go over that.
But this is going to be voted on?
It'll be voted on tonight according to your agenda, yes.
Mayor, if I may chime in.
Okay.
Just, Ms. Wells, for a summary.
Please.
There are 2 main pages that I would highlight. The page number 2, which shows our total revenues in the general fund as $18,661,007.
See that, yeah.
And page 7, which highlights the total expenses in our general fund, $18,879,413.
Page 7?
Should be page 7. It's on the one that I printed out.
Okay, I see it. I'm sorry.
And just below there, it says $218,000, and that represents the deficit in our general fund. So all the numbers that we talk about will compile into either the revenue or the expenses and total up to one of those 2 figures.
Now,
that helps.
Also be aware that there were some overestimations and some underestimations that Ms. Redmond had made in her calculations. Because remember, a budget is a projection. Meaning that money is not necessarily there at this moment. This is what we project to spend. This is what we project to take in. We don't bring in 100% of our tax revenue. And the proof of that is on everybody's block right here can tell me of an abandoned home that's on their block, or 1 house or 2 houses throughout the community. We don't collect 100% of our taxes. And again, we'll go into that portion of it when we get into the latter part of our meeting.
Okay, I'm still not sold on the budget in front of me, but okay, I'll listen more and then come back.
You know, as this budget was presented by the finance department and to our finance director, I think there should have been public hearings and meetings so that people could actually take a look at it rather than being jammed down your throat tonight. And then a vote is going to be taken to determine the services that are going to be cut here and determine the status and the livelihood of some employees here.
If I could respond to that,
if there was truly a transparency that this finance person in Finance Committee wanted this public to know. They had ample time. The budget was presented well in advance. They had ample time to have finance hearings and public discussion before a vote comes here tonight. And it wasn't done.
Okay, if I could respond to that, just be aware, the public should know that this budget was submitted to the mayor for the mayor to make a counter. The mayor could have shown us everything what everybody else is saying. Show us where we can meet our budget obligations in keeping these folks on. So this has been in the possession of the mayor and his office for our feedback. Now, emails have been sent. The budget has been posted. We followed the rules of the state statute of it being posted. This is the public hearing that we're having, but this budget was submitted to these trustees and this mayor that he can also counter the individuals that he would like to stay, but show us where the revenue is going to come from in order to pay these positions and these salaries and these benefits. Don't just think of salaries. If you're in a business, and for those of you in business, you're not just paying a salary. You're paying a salary to an individual, and you're paying benefits to an individual. You're also paying time and a half, and you're also paying for pensions. That money comes from our taxes. If we don't have $18 million to pay it, then you have to reduce it or increase revenues, and that's done by the following: real estate tax, income tax, sales tax. And everybody already knows. If I ask you what your tax bill, you probably know it by heart. Mine is $4,650 every year. And when you get your tax bill, you see where it's broken down. Does the village of Dalton get that money? Who else gets part of your taxes? Park District? Park District, school, library. Everybody gets a piece of your dollar. So this money, we have a fiduciary responsibility to make sure that this money is spent wisely. We've passed a budget for the last at least 5 years with a deficit. And when we get into the next meeting, we'll talk about, even with these savings, it's not enough because we got to do a 4% across-the-board cut from all departments. This is just not from the mayor's department. As you see from the one page that you have, because there are many other pages, we have to do a 4% cut across the board. Across the board. Now, let me answer that because everybody keeps talking. Let me answer that. By law, and that's a good political thing to banter around. By law, we can't affect our salaries. That has to be done when we're sworn in, before you're sworn in. It has to be a law passed. But everybody knows. Now, we got a department head shaking his head no, like he knows legislative law, but he doesn't. But let me explain something to you.
Well, okay, trustee. Thank you for your explanation. This is public comment. Go ahead, Trustee Lowe.
Yeah, how y'all doing? As you see, I've been on the weather. I'm blind, half blind, waiting for the God to give me back my sight. And I come here because I had some questions to ask. Have we closed our fire station down?
Yes, the second fire station, yes.
And I just want to know what's going on with this village. Are we in a great crisis that we are losing our village? And I hear this budget, and y'all talking about cutting the trustee salary. They can't do that because that's a legislative move. But the thing is,
you can cut the expenses, though.
You can cut the expenses, yeah. Yeah, you can
fire
cut the
station
expenses.
has nothing to do with the budget. The closing of the fire station by the mayor has nothing to do with the budget.
I did 16 years as a trustee, and we had never had any problem we got now. And we didn't take money from one department and put it into another department when we got short. We had bonds that we used to extend our money till we got our money. And our money comes in from the county and the state, and somewhere somebody messed up.
That's right.
Somebody messed up, y'all. And I'm trying to find out who was in charge of messing up our budget. Because, see, the mayor was in control, then they took the power from the mayor, and then they thought they can run it, and we had some kind of fella here from the suburbs who run our village. Suppose they took some money. I mean, you know, everybody took some money. In this political world, everybody takes money. But we don't want nobody to take money from us that we pay taxes. Right. Yeah, and y'all know about that, huh? The thing is, I'm just saying that I just come to ask a question. I want to know who put a ticket on my car, and this person that don't know me could have rung my doorbell until I was too close to the stop sign because somebody watched my vehicle and parked it there and messed me up. So when you're blind, y'all, things happen. And I hope that the mayor and the trustee can get this thing straight. And then I want to ask another question. Why are we locking up trustees? You know, that worried me. Yeah. Trustee Valerie, I heard she got locked up. So, why are policemen going to lock up? They know who the trustees is. They said, I don't know. I'm trying to find out. Trustee Valerie, can I ask you a question? Why did they lock you up?
Okay.
Excuse me,
Trustee
I just
Lowe.
want to say this, that we're here for the budget, and you know my telephone number. You can call me, or I'll be outside afterward, after the meeting is over with. Right. You can ask me then.
All right.
How's everybody doing today? My name is Edward Steve. We can have a little quiet, please. I am the media director for the Village of Dalton. And in this budget, I moved from salary position to an independent contractor. Now, this is why people don't do politics. Because people, when they're residents and employees, they get done a certain way, then they get on here and do people the same way they've been done. I was there when Trustee Muhammad was the media director, and they fired him. He turned around and sued the village. It was wrong. The best religion is to treat people how you want to be treated. If it was wrong to do it to you, then it's wrong to do it to anybody else. In the name of politics, in the name of the budget. I have multiple sclerosis. I've had it for the past 8 years. By the grace of God, I'm doing good. But I'm going to lose my insurance. And this man knows that because he claims he's my teacher. I know him before all this. I was the one recording the board meetings when he was the media director. He was getting $60,000 a year, and I get paid less than that. And I can't believe, Pearson, you went with this? Then you went with this? Y'all gonna go with this knowing I need my insurance? Knowing I need my insurance? Am I taking care of my family? Y'all gonna do that? In the name of, that's the same reason he used. I can get a clip from downstairs that he spoke and said, I've been told by one trustee that we have to make certain budget cuts. And then he turns around, gets on the board and does the same thing. That is terrible. That shows you a lot about a person's character. That you can go and get on this board and do the same thing to people that's been done to you, and it was wrong when it was done to you. So when y'all see this, I've had MS for the last 8 years. I need my insurance. I need my insurance. I got to get my update, MRI, everything. That's a yearly thing. And y'all taking that? Y'all really gonna go with that because y'all riding with him? That's just sad. And God damn it, order in the audience, please. Order. Y'all gonna take that from me? And that's the reality of when people on this side, then they get on this board and change. They get on this board. That's why people don't do politics, because when people get on the board, they change and turn to something totally different. But really, they turn to who they really are. And that's the reality. And I'm so disappointed that y'all gonna vote for that. And y'all know y'all because y'all following that man. But hey, the election is what? I'm a resident now. I bought a house out here. And I guarantee nobody on my block is going to go for y'all when y'all run. So that's all I want to say.
Hello, everyone. I don't know process. This is my first time here. Been living in Dalton for 27 years.
Order, please.
My name is Lily Robinson, and this is my husband, Joe Robinson. Do I need to give our address?
No.
Okay, good. As I said, we've lived in Dalton over 27 years. We've been having a problem over by the Parksides, Riverside, right off of 146th Street, with people just going in our cars, stealing, coming in our driveways. I'm afraid that next they're going to be coming in the backyard where I sit. What's going to stop them? Last Sunday morning, woke up My neighbor rings the doorbell 5:30 Sunday morning to let my husband know his son just found his saw on the side of the street. He picks it up, puts it in his car, drives up to our street, realizes not only is my husband's car door is open, 2 doors down a neighbor has a relative that's coming town, his hatch is open. Call the police, make a police report. See the things strewn across down the street. Happened a month prior. This morning, they got my neighbor right next door to me. One of my neighbors witnessed it. When he did call the police, because sometimes you'll call the police and they'll tell you you're not the person who the damage has occurred to, so you really can't make a report. That's what happened when my bushes was stolen and my neighbor called the police, but thankfully he followed the trail of the dirt around to the perpetrator's house. Long and short is this. We need more lights on Parkside. The street is so dark. As a woman who's lived in this area for a while, we're not moving, we're not running from the crime. But we need our community to step in. What that means is we do need to call the police every time. Every time. Don't put it on social media because our house values are already low enough. Okay, as a realtor, I know this. It's coming down badly. If you're losing your home, please let somebody know so we can buy it, because it brings down our value. Don't leave and tell me I'm a great neighbor, because I also had to call on 14649. The grass was growing too long. Called all summer. Finally, somebody came and cut the grass. Guess what? They didn't cut the bushes. But I should be thankful, huh? If I paid half my taxes, I don't know who'd be thankful. With that said, something's going on Riverside. They hit them this morning too, 6 o'clock in the morning. These are the times these guys are coming. They weigh about 110 pounds. It's 2 of them. My understanding is it's a silver colored station wagon, correct? That was witnessed in this crime. When my neighbor finally called to let him know his neighbor, he witnessed the people going in the car, the police asked him, why'd you call so late? They never did come and make a police report today. Now mind you, I talk a lot. I can hold this mic and keep you entertained for hours, telling you what's going on. I met my wonderful neighbor Ted today. Hey Ted, he's the reason I'm here. I was riding around telling my neighbors, this is what's going on, be on the lookout. One of my neighbors mentioned, oh, by the way, the other neighbor, 9 o'clock in the daytime, somebody climbed in her window. Hello? Be watchful, be concerned. We need lights. We also need the police to respond when we call. I don't care if you think I'm just whatever. Please come, because we pay the taxes and they high. Yours only $4,000, sir. Ours is $6,000. Tell me what you're doing to get yours at that rate, because we need you for that. For that, we need you. Okay? Real talk. We've been out here too long. If we run, where are we gonna go? Because the crime is going to follow us. So as people and as politicians, the expectation, what is your expectation? I know what my expectation is from you guys. And I assume that you expect us to keep watch, call, let you know when properties are vacant, if people are standing on the block, hanging on the porch. We do that on my street. We good for that. RD, y'all know, we loyal. We need y'all to be loyal. Stop the infighting. Get us what we need. Because y'all get your checks. Y'all got everything that y'all need. I see you. I see you. When you didn't think that we don't see you, we see you. And I ain't got no problem with you looking fabulous and all that. That's what life does when you work. We just want you to work and earn it. I want to feel safe on my block. My baby leaves at 4 o'clock in the morning. She's an EMT. 4 o'clock in the morning. That's when these things are happening. That concerns me. So now, she got to wake me up at 4 o'clock in the morning so I can look out the window just to watch my baby walk to the car. She's 23 years old. She ain't no baby. So, I don't know what this will bring about, but...
And we've talked about those lights for years ago. We got 2 lights on our block.
It's dark.
And it's pitch dark in one area.
The cameras can't pick up because it's so dark.
We got people with cameras on the block, but certain areas you can't see. It's ridiculous. I mean, like I said, we've been paying our taxes, and our taxes, when we first moved over here, our taxes was $1,200. Now it's $6,000, and
no better services.
And I mean, I don't see where it should be that much. And like she said, our concern is when we call, we should get a response, and we should okay.
Not a lecture.
Yeah, writing down, a few things here and there, and then we hear nothing else. You know, because this has been a regular thing around there.
This is the fourth incident with our vehicles, yes?
They got me twice. They got my daughter.
My mom,
and
she came to
then
visit.
her mom just pulled up and just left her windows down. She come outside as a guy rumbling through her car.
Broad daylight.
In the driveway. You know, they're getting bolder and bolder. So next thing, they're gonna be trying to come up in the house. If they come up in my house, I got something for them.
And I used to be against that, but here I am, needing to go get a license and stuff myself to carry.
Well, I mean, whatever y'all need to do,
please do
we need to improve on that.
And can we get some lights on Parkside? Who do we need to talk to? Who do I need to call housing? I know Denise in housing. I've talked to her a lot about my grass on my block. She sent somebody over. Thank you, Denise, if you're in the house. Denise, I appreciate you. But we got to do better.
I know. I'm familiar with Parkside.
Yeah.
I'm familiar with where those two lights are.
Two lights, right? It's dark.
Yeah, but you know.
And here's the thing: sometimes the light ain't on. It's not that we have two posts.
The light in that corner. I know exactly what you're talking about. We've had it repaired before. I'm not sure if there's an electrical issue with it or not, but only thing I can say is that we have a number of blocks with only one light on it.
That don't make me feel good. My tax is $6,000. I should have at least two working lights. Three.
I'm not saying that to defend, you know, but I'm just saying that lighting is an issue here in the village of Dalton.
Please address it.
We have. I'm going to say this: each pole. Matt, what are the costs of the poles to put lights in? $2,000 total. Mm-hmm. We probably could stand 1,500 lights in this village.
Let's figure out how we can get that done to keep the constituents safe, because that's who's most important to us. You know, because without us, y'all don't have a job.
I understand that. I'll try to address it. Thank you.
Okay, I'll come back and find out, please, because I do want to know, because my baby has to leave. She has to go out and help people when they get shot in Chicago. We don't want that stuff happening out here. So, real talk. Thank you.
What I'm going to ask is that we speed up the public comment. Our regular board meeting should have started at 6:30. The way this agenda looks like, it would probably go back to the old days where we're getting out here at 1 o'clock in the morning. And I don't want to, especially when you talk about doing things line by line. But at any rate, go ahead, George.
Good evening, everybody, resident, trustees, mayor. I'm here. My name is Georgia Williams, which I'm sure everybody knows me. But I'm here. I want to know about Melanie Fitness. It's quite a few people here about Melanie Fitness, and I've been driving since 7 o'clock this morning from Mississippi to get here for this meeting, and we want to know, are we going to have this meeting? I see something about Sarah Melanie. We need to know. We got a lot of Melanie people here. We need to know something about Melanie. Thank you.
Okay, let me answer that for you, Ms. Williams. I think it was a week or two ago that myself and Trustee Stubbs met with the staff at Melanie Fitness, which is why they're here. They are on the agenda. They'll be coming up under my report. There is an item on here about for sale. I have no idea what that's about, but we did invite the Melanie Fitness members along with its staff, and they will be, once we get into our regular board meeting, they will be on the agenda at the upper part of the meeting, and they can come in and address their grievances.
I have one other question. Why is it that our police station is closed on the weekend? That they're only open until 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and there's nobody there after 2 on the weekend. And so therefore, if anything was to happen to a resident, and I'll just give you hindsight, that somebody get robbed or shot right by the police station, and you can't even run to the station for help because the station is closed. So can somebody explain to me why our police station is closed on the weekend, and hopefully you'll address the situation as to why a fire station was closed?
I'm not aware.
As me living, as me, a woman living in the valley right from the police station, and a lot of times I do walk from my house up to the fountain and around the corner to the store and the library on the weekend. And I've seen quite a few things that have transpired, especially last week. I seen somebody hollering for help, but unfortunately the station was closed, and I saw a lady go to the door and say, is there any police here? And I said, baby, unfortunately the station is closed. There's no personnel after this hour. So somebody need to explain that to me.
I'd be happy to explain that. So let's paint the picture very clear. Even though the doors may be closed, that does not mean police officers are not on duty. And frankly, police officers should not be at the station anyway. They should be out on patrol. So the reason that we have to shut our doors on Saturday afternoon and evening and Sunday is because of a lack of personnel. There's no money to hire additional clerks to keep those doors open, so therefore we cannot keep the station unsecured. So the doors are locked. However, if someone does come to the police station, there is a phone on the front door. They pick it up and they're connected directly to the 911 center. Not a clerk, not anybody else, but directly to the 911 center. In today's times, the typical way of getting hold of the police department is to call 911. So if anything were to occur, you call 911. 911 is not situated in the police department. 911 is situated somewhere else. However, you call 911, they get a hold of the officer and send the officer directly to your location. So the fact that the doors are closed does not jeopardize the safety of the residents whatsoever. You are still connected to the police department when you call 911.
I wasn't aware, Chief, that was happening, and we're gonna figure out a way to man that police station. I think it should be manned.
Greetings in the name of the Father and the Son. Mayor, I'm sorry to hear about the loss of your mother.
Thank you.
And I'm piggybacking off of her. You know, because for me to come out of my house last Thursday and see whoever this stranger was sitting on my porch, now this is not the first time. Now, the first time I walked to the police department, and when I realized that I couldn't just open that door and walked in, I'm not going to stand here and tell you that I didn't get infuriated. It worked my ever-loving nerves. One, because I've been out here a long time. Two,
can I make a suggestion? In an effort to try to get this regular meeting going, I like for, this is public comment on the budget. And although some of the things that were described here tonight does not directly affect the budget, can we save that to public comment?
Okay, I'm going to go to the budget, and I would do like Miss Waters and ask for my seconds back, but you know, but I'm kind of just tired. You know, I just rode my bike, not like her from Memphis. I just rode my bike, you know, from Blue Island. You know, financially, y'all bust on us. Every time it's time to get something constructively done financially, you all are y'all just downtrodden on us. You want us to speak only in these little whatever. You know what? All that's got to stop. Y'all have been sitting here for a long, long time. No matter what I talk about, everything is connected to the finance of this community. Everything. Guess who? You're looking at the taxpayers out here, but you want to limit them to certain conversations when they come here. I have gotten to the point, and I was in Chicago earlier, I have just gotten to the point where you all make me wonder if you even have a conscience for what you're doing sitting here, and I'm just trying to comprehend. What is it that you thought this job entailed when you sat down to do it? I'm not trying to bash anybody, but it's very hard for me to keep my respect for you all, your character, your integrity, and your words seem to be just falling. You know what I said earlier today about a dignitary? He just trolloping through the daisies like fa-la-la-la-la, fa-la-la-la-la, and everything is smelling all fragrantly well. It's not anymore. It is time for us to gridlock you all and make you all do what you are supposed to do. And for the ones that say they are not paid, you knew it wasn't a paying job when you sat down. I usually walk away from this mic, and then I go home and I sit there and ponder why I keep getting up and doing this. I do it because you know what? There are other people coming behind me. That includes my grandchildren. She used to come here when she was 2 and 3 years old. By the time she was 6, they were calling her little activist. It is time out. If we start suing you all, freezing your bank accounts, making you all get under a microscope like you in a chemistry lab, then you would swear we doing you all wrong. And you know, here's my thing about law enforcement. They can't be the do-all, be-all. But in the community now, they're saying, well, we don't get no help from the community. But you know what? A whole lot of things went amiss on people when they wasn't getting a lot of help from dignitaries, leadership, and policemen. And now it's running amok, and then everybody want to run around. They don't have time to answer. You know what? Now, here's my thing to the people of the village. Y'all need to gridlock these people. Y'all need to not vote when it's time to vote. You need to find a way to follow my little program or hold your property tax for 6 months and see how to delay. Do all these people in office, and sooner or later, they're going to have to conform. Y'all the most powerful thing sitting in this building.
Good evening, everyone. Board, trustee, community. Welcome out. It looks beautiful out here. Wow. I wonder what caused this effect. Whatever it did, it's a beautiful thing. It's what we've been fighting in here for the last 4 years. 3.5 we've been in Dalton. And I'm glad to see that the awareness is waking up, because I was blind myself. I had no care to our communities. I had no care to anything except myself and my family. And that's the dignitation that I took upon myself to live like that. So it's a beautiful thing to see this community coming together. And we're going to speak about this budget, because that's what we're here all about, finances. How do we grow our community? How do we stop going in debt? How do we stop being misled in so many different ways? How do we get productivity on our cleanliness, our healthiness, and our economical growth? That's what this is all about. Arguing, fighting, no type of connection, that can never work. But community like this can always work. Because see, now they're listening. If you look at all their faces, see, everybody is in a humble now. Because it's normally 4, 5, 6 people in here fighting for all of us. But we all want to change. And then you bring organizations into this community, and Brother Ed, you touched me. Ed, man, I love you. Because me and Ed walked in here the same time of understanding Dalton, along with all these before they got up here. Because we're residents first. My organization comes second. I live here. I brought suspension of growth to try to change our community, not for my own need. So when you have a board like this that dictates their own subjects of, they're going to take away what financial responsibility goes to who. Like the land contracts, that's what we're talking about, budget. That's what Fathers and Blessings was kept for, and we were this home, we were thieves, we were this, our paperwork. But then you go back and hire 4 more individuals that don't give this community nothing. And they have the same pay because we forward our requests like a lot of you should do. We forward your information, get your own information. We see that everyone makes what we make because it's the normal pay for as many grasses as you cut. But yet, we don't have any money to do anything else. And none of these trustees up here, I swear to God, will sacrifice their salary. None of them. That $20,000 or cut his man's medical. They did me like that. Why? Because we stand against them. We want truth and we want honesty because we only for the people. There's nothing else for us to gain. So as much as we fight against each other, they're going to take from us. Open our eyes and let's grow. We have a facility that we just met with Senator Harris. I thank God for this man, okay? Young brother, fighting for us, okay? We're bringing aquaponics. We're bringing all type of things into our community. We just brought in Next Level Health. I don't know if anyone knows Dr. Cheryl Whitaker of Next Level Left. Next Level Left. I do apologize. I'm very excited. I'm very emotional right now.
Mr. Walker.
I do apologize.
Mr. Walker. I'm sure you're doing great things, and I applaud your efforts.
I understand that.
But can we just limit it to the budget right now, and then we're going to.
This is the budget. We're talking about economically trying to grow our community and get out of debt. In order to do that, you need to bring businesses into this community. You have to bring development and cleanness. So I'm speaking on budget only. I'm just speaking with everyone. I really am, because we're talking about all these contracts, all the money that we don't have for police, the money that we don't have to clean our communities, the money we don't have to cut down trees, the money we don't have for these kids' community centers, the money we have for nothing. But we got all these bills to pay. The stickers went up $80. We can't even afford half of the things. $80?
No, the stickers
in a matter of seconds. In a matter of
the
seconds.
stickers are not $80.
Did they go back down?
No,
I'm sorry.
The sticker.
They started at 40.
They are at 40.
They went down?
No, they are at 40. And the penalty for not buying it within the period it doubles to 80.
Okay. In that 1 day period. But again, as though a struggling community, we got to find a way to help each other out and grow our community. So I don't want to take up anyone else's time, but community, we look beautiful. We are the ones who count, and it's time to develop our own budget.
Thank you, Mr. Walker. This is Mr. Shad Trish, who will be affected by this proposed budget.
So thank you, Mayor, Clerk, trustees, department heads, and residents of Dalton. I wasn't going to say anything also. I'm usually behind the scenes doing things, and many of us have different things that we do. But I, like Demetrius, I was moved by what Edward Steve said. Some of you may not know, but Trustee Dwayne Muhammad actually recommended me for my position here with the Village of Dalton. I want you all to know that. And when Trustee Muhammad recommended me to assist the mayor, he wanted me to, he said the mayor needed some help. He needed professional people to help him bring forth the vision. He said the mayor wanted to do a lot of things. At that time, he thought the mayor had, some good ideas. He said that he needed help, and Ed needed help in the communications, me bringing some things, taking some things to the next level. He said the mayor needed some people that knew how to get things done. I want to say something really quickly. They're more than capable of representing themselves, Miss Elizabeth Scott and Edward Steve. You heard from him, but you didn't quite hear from her. But this is a brilliant woman right here. She is brilliant and hardworking. Okay? And I know some people may have a problem, saying what she does as far as whether it's a good job or not, because for political reasons or anger or things like that, people don't want to give each other props. But I work with these individuals day in, day out, all night sometimes. We spend a lot of time together. It's kind of like a family. Weekends, Sundays, a lot of things that we're trying to do. My position is, I guess, listed as public relations, and I think that's kind of an attempt to kind of diminish the role of what that does, because it's really the communications and public affairs director, which brings all the material and information to you, and also resources. So some of you may get email messages from me notifying you of things going on in the village. You may receive notifications and flyers that we used to actually ship out and pay other people to do. Now that's able to be done in-house, because I taught myself how to do graphics so that we can make sure to get flyers and things like that done. I've worked with almost all of the trustees, and very respectfully, I don't think I've ever even had a cross word with any of the trustees. And I also work with many of the other departments, because I'm a journalist and writer by my training and trade. So sometimes the other departments ask me to come in and help them with some of their correspondence that goes out. So I would just want to say that to make sure that you all understand that we're also more than just line items. I know Trustee Muhammad doesn't want to talk about names, because it's much easier to write somebody out when you just see their position and say this is so much money. But these are actual people, and whatever the decision that is made, I'll have to abide by it, because it's the rule of law and it's the democratic process. But it shouldn't just depend on who has the votes at a particular time. It should be what is right. And that would be... And I would say that whether it was affecting me, and I would say that as I watched the other people who went through the same thing, and I will say this in the future, because one of the most important things that we have is our character and our word. And when I took this position, I said that I would help Mayor Rogers and help the Village of Dalton, and I've tried or attempted to do. You all will be the judge as far as whether we are doing that or not. And as long as I'm here, I will continue to do my best. The reason I had not done, I wanted to do what Ed did. But it's hard to think about moving to a location when your budget line item might be written out and you don't know if you're going to be living in the area anymore. But I definitely have been looking at different houses. I love the people in this community, and I've seen many people. I see a lot of you all Saturdays at the flea market and different places running around. So you almost, many of you thought I already lived here, but I don't. It feels like it sometimes, though. But I just wanted to say that, and I don't want to insult anyone. I don't want to attempt to put anyone out on the spot, but I just want to say that if this is the last time I'm having the opportunity to serve you, I thank you for what you have done and how you embraced me and embraced others who have been with me as we've attempted to move the Village of Dalton forward. Thank you for your time and attention.
Well, those of you who don't know me, I guess you know me now after I was listed as a line item by the trustees, some of the trustees sitting up here. So there were some comments made by Minister White and some other people about me following up behind Matt Stacy and things that weren't getting done, and how there's a supervisor or chief of staff. That's not my job. There's a lot of things that people do here as far as department heads. We're short-staffed, and that's just the reality. So in order to provide you with certain services, many of us wear many hats. When I go out to check on residents and I go to people's houses and I shovel snow, it's not part of my job. I do it because I care. I don't have to do that. Many people leave here at 5 o'clock and go home. I spend more time in this community than I do in my own neighborhood. I'm here usually 6 to 7 days a week. What the trustees don't know, because they don't bother to ask me, I go to people's houses. Sometimes when there's water main breaks, I just follow up. Not because it's my job, but because I care about the constituents in this community, and that's important. And I want you to know that you can hire someone and put someone else in this job, but you might not get someone who really and truly cares. I know the type of individual that I am. I know the value that I bring to this community. But it's a lot more than following up behind people. And I appreciate you, Minister White, but I'd also like to let you know that the unemployment rate was lowered in half. A big deal part of that was because of the hiring events that I put together in conjunction with Ashad, with Ed, things that we did in the community. I want you to know that, because the mayor demanded that we hire Dalton residents. Those were events that were never, ever brought to this community prior to this administration. I want that noted. Minister White's daughter was one of the people who was hired under the 50-20 program. Another program that the mayor, under the mayor's direction and telling me that he wanted these programs for the youth, because like a young lady who came up here and complained about people breaking into their cars, well, if kids don't have something to do, they're going to find something to do. So the mayor wanted to create the 50-20 program. It had never been done before. Well, I think it was in the second year. Correct me if I'm wrong, Trustee Muhammad. It wasn't funded. It was not funded fully by this board. So myself went out with the help of Matt Stacy, other people in this administration, and raised over $35,000 on our own. Then the rest of the trustees, a few of them, got up and raised a few $1,000s. But I raised on my own over $35,000. So when you talk about how much my value is, it's a lot more than my pay. A lot more. I'm angry, and I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed that people have chose to use people like us as a political pawn to further their negative agenda. And the money that they claim that they're going to save, the $700,000, I guarantee you it's going to cost this community a lot more in lawsuits. Let me be clear, and I want to repeat that for the record, Mary Kay. It's going to cost a lot more in this village. And then the fact that you would get rid of someone who's sick, who just moved to this community because they were invested. And by the way, I'm looking for a place to move here, so I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. I'm moving here. And I'm not going anywhere. And you're going to be sorry that you did this, because you know you didn't do this to us. You didn't do this to me. You did this to them. You did this to them. When Stan Urban left here because he did inappropriate things, and now I'm going to speak on it, and I told Dwayne Muhammad about it, and he witnessed one of the incidents that was inappropriate with Stan Urban, they elected to bring him back as an independent contractor. This is what he thinks of the women in this office. And I also had a talk with Trustee Stubbs at length about some of the indiscretions that Stan Urban said to me, and she agreed with me, and she also voted to bring him back. I'm about bringing truth to power. So let me tell you a few other things. There was a grass cutting, $75,000 grant. That's more than what I make in a year. You're looking at the person who was responsible for that grant. We were awarded that grant, but they don't want to speak that. They don't want to speak about the things. I earn my pay. First time ever in Cook County, was there a program with Tony Preckwinkle. Once again, members, not all, some of the members on this board would not fund the 50-20 program again. Since we couldn't do it, because I care about this community, I didn't have to do it. The mayor, at the mayor's urging and direction, I want to be clear, I worked hard to put forth a program in connection with Tony Preckwinkle called Opportunity Works. We got kids certified to be CDL drivers, forklift drivers. They are now working at various companies throughout the south suburbs. I can't even think of the names of the companies because I'm really caught off guard right now. But I want you to know that I did that because I care about the community. I didn't have to do that. Many times I stay here until 6, 7, 8 o'clock at night. I go to events and represent this village. I represent this village and I go not to sit there and look cute. I go and I find out different programs that are available not only in the city but throughout the various suburbs. And when I go to those events, I don't see some of these trustees there. I have never seen them there. As a matter of fact, I put together the first ever Rain Ready Steering Committee ever in Dalton. Not one trustee, Pearson, Denton, Stubbs, Muhammad, has ever come to one of those meetings. They've never inquired. Also, what you don't see but is in their board packets, I applied for a grant. I'm not a grant writer. I don't get paid to be a grant writer. Muhammad put forth last year to hire a grant writer at a salary of what I make in a full year. I applied for that. Whether or not she got the grants, she was getting a check. Well, we don't know where the grant writer is now. I'd like to know if she ever got a grant. But I'd like you to know, Trustee Muhammad, that if you look in your packet through Robinson Engineering, you will see that I put forth a grant for infrastructure to help flooding in this community. The maximum amount awarded is $400,000. That's much more than my pay. So when people want to talk about value, I'm more than a line item. So when I leave, I want you to know all of you will suffer. I also want you to know that the majority of the events that you see put on in this community, I put together. There was never a gospel fest, ever. I put that together. Hiring events, never. I put that together. 50-20 program. These are the things that the mayor's office has put together, the administration. Ashad, Ed, myself. These are programs that you will not see here. And I want you to ask these board members, run it. What's their claim to fame? How many unemployment programs have they put together? Tell me how they've lowered the unemployment rate. I want you to tell me, and I want you to ask Trustee Muhammad, what happened to that money for the youth center? Because that could have been somebody's salary and a half. Don't let it go, people. Do not let it go. When it comes time, I hope that you empower yourselves, and I hope that you take back your community. Let me be clear. I didn't do any of these things because I had to. I did them because I care. I also want to add that I did come out to the couple's house here. They failed to mention that they made a complaint about some branches that had been sitting there. They were picked up immediately. Tell me if I'm wrong. I try my hardest. I don't have to go to residents' houses because I'm following up behind Matt. I want to be perfectly clear. I go to visit people most of the time by myself. I visit people's homes on the weekend, and I'm not in a political position. I'm not running for office. I do it because I care. I also want to add that I worked with Sandra Wells from Neighborhood Housing Services. She came to me and said, hey, there's this great program where we're awarding, FEMA has money for people who experienced flooding in 2015. As a result of me recruiting people along with her, we were able to get $500,000, that's $500,000, almost what his budget cut is proposing of $700,000, for individuals to receive $25,000 for their homes, to retrofit their homes so they don't experience flooding, more than any other municipality. Some municipalities, the residents were only awarded 1 or 2. We received 20. So I want you to know my $55,000 salary, and I want to be clear, I work on average, I was told by the HR director when they pulled up how many hours I work on average 110 hours every 2 weeks. So am I bothered? I'm very bothered. So when you call up and you want to know about the 50/20 program and we don't have it, know that it's because we're not here in the mayor's administration. When you want immediate services, or people call me on a Saturday at 10:30 at night because they're afraid to call the police, because some people are afraid to tell the police, and they tell me about dope houses and different things going on, or something's going on at 10:30. If I'm up, I answer my phone. People will say that. I tell people that. If I'm up, I answer my phone. Many of you here have my cell phone number as well as my personal cell. I don't have to do that. I do that because I care. And I want to say, I love the residents here. I appreciate you for taking me into this community. You all treated me like a daughter. And I plan on that. I'm not going anywhere. They can fire me. They can line me out of the budget, but they're going to see me up here. They're going to see me almost every day. I'm not going anywhere. I want to take this opportunity, Mayor Rogers. I want to take this opportunity, Mayor Rogers, to thank you, truly, for giving me this opportunity. When I first came here, there were some trustees sitting up here that didn't feel I was qualified. Some that didn't even have a college degree, that talked about the fact that I didn't have a college degree. But I'll bet you my track record in Dalton is more than you've done. And we're going to fight. I'm going to fight for you people. I'm going to continue to fight for you whether I have a job here or not. Thank you very much, and God bless.
Okay. I want to say, okay, Ed, before we go to
Mayor.
I want to say, is my mic on?
It's on. It's on.
Here. I want to say, I have a fine liking for these 3 people. What she said was no exaggeration. They come in early, they leave late. I can call at midnight. What you need, Mayor, they're here. 7 days a week. Have put their families in some cases second. In some cases, I tell them, you got to go home. Go, Elizabeth. You know, when I came into office, and these are not our numbers. These are not our numbers. When I came into office, there was 17.5% unemployment. And every time that we do hiring events and we get people hired, and we've had over 350 people hired in the last 5 years since I've been in the office, and these people are responsible for it. Now, I have a chart here from the U.S. Department of Employment Statistics showing us at 17.5% unemployment in 2013 when I took office. And right now we're at 6.6%. This is not our numbers. This is the numbers of the U.S. Department of Labor that receive the Medicare deductions, the Social Security deductions. That's how this list is comprised. And when we talk about employing children and youth from the 50/20 program, that we've actually demanded that one of our largest employers, in cooperation with Elizabeth's hiring events, hire our residents. At one time, they had 419 employees, and only 7 of them lived in Dalton. Right now, we're over 70 people that work there, and the entry-level salary is $58,000. And we have youth that were in the 50-20 program that work at auto manufacturing, which in fact, at the efforts of Elizabeth, Ashad, and Ed, won the #1 manufacturing award in Cook County. The #1 out of all the manufacturers in Cook County, right here in the village of Dalton, where there's over 400 employees, auto manufacturing. We were down there when the award was presented by President Tony Freckwinkle. That's an accomplishment. That's an accomplishment to go from 7 employees at a business that has over 400 employees, and those 7 employees live in the village of Dalton, to well over 70, has contributed to the direct effect of employment here in the village of Dalton. I couldn't do it without them. Elizabeth asked me, said, Mayor, what's my job description? Your job description is everything. Is everything. I said, now look up the definition of chief of staff. And basically that's what it says. Everything. If the garbage is overflowing, Elizabeth empties it. You know? So I mean, there's nothing, you know, as far as, you know, some people say, well, she does Matt's job. She don't does Matt's job. She does everybody's job. She puts time in the water department, housing, administration, everything. There's not one thing. There's not one thing since she's been employed here. There's not one thing since he's been employed here. There's not one thing since he's been employed here that they said no to me. They've never said no. I need them on Sunday, they're there on Sunday. Need them on Saturday, they're there on Saturday. And guess what? They don't get paid. They don't get paid for that. They got a salary. And if you look at the hours that they put in, they're probably making about $4 or $5 an hour. And Ed recently, based upon what he does for the village, based upon he thought he may have some security here in the bought a house with his new baby and his wife, and chose, which he could have chose anywhere else. And one of the things that I tried to do, even with other employees, move to the village, spend your money where you make your money. And now here he is with a brand new mortgage and a new baby, and with his physical health condition, going to be eliminated from a job. You know, so at any rate, I want to let Ed speak one more time, and then I'd like to conclude this.
I want to make one thing very clear. There's a lot of misinformation about that youth center and that Melanie Fitness. I was there taking the pictures. That was all on Trustee Muhammad. Tiffany Henry, even though she voted for it, but that was Muhammad putting the invoices in. That was all him. Don't put that on the board. They voted for it, but he was the one overseeing. And them pool parties, and them strippers, and that liquor, that's all him. And don't ever forget that. So he'll try to duck out of it and blame everybody else. You got to take a self-accountability for the mess ups that you did, and he did that. As a trustee, that youth center was all him. Period. I want to make that very clear because he don't like to. I was there. I took the pictures. He had the wrong contractor in there. They didn't know what they was doing. That was him that approved that. So don't ever let that misinformation go out there.
Okay, I'm gonna make this short, Mayor, because I know you want to get to the next meeting.
We got to get to this regular meeting.
Okay, personally, this whole budget cut, it's not a political move, it's a personal move. This is all directed at the mayor. Let me tell you people, anything that goes on is coming through this man here, Muhammad. Okay? He got 3 puppets. Okay, that he know that's gonna vote for whoever he says. You know, so let's make this personally clear. And let me tell you, I'm gonna make it short, Mayor. Excuse my French. That's all right. Karma's a bitch, and she sure likes to visit.
Well, excuse me, I'm gonna make this quick since we're telling, might as well. Just asking. Because we all went through this together and we had all the sacrifice. BP Capital. Out the blue. Trustee Stubbs. Let's speak about BP Capital. How do we bring an organization that we have to pay $15,000, $30,000 to each attorney and then turn over all of our properties to investors to come back and fix it up undergrade that don't even have to go through inspections and sell them for triple to 3 times as more for that property? Muhammad, trustee, what happened to the $67,000 for a community center that you still sit back so cool and laid back and can't explain nothing? And you want us to trust you on BP? Let's talk budget.
Okay, I'd like a motion.
I would like to make a motion to adjourn this budget meeting.
Thank you, trustee.
You're welcome.
Can you let me finish?
Second.
Okay. There's a motion on the floor. There's a motion to close this public hearing, and it's been seconded. It's been motioned by Trustee Henry and seconded by Trustee House. Can I get a roll call?
Trustee Muhammad.
Aye.
Trustee Stubbs.
Aye.
Trustee House.
Aye.
Trustee Denton.
Aye.
Trustee Pearson.
Aye.
Trustee Henry.
Aye.
Right. Okay. Motion passed. Before we go into our regular board meeting, which should have started at 6:30, I'm going to take a 5-minute recess. It's only going to be 5 minutes. If you're not back to your seats, we're going to start. So we're going to take a 5-minute recess.
Order, please.
Okay, I'd like to call to order the regular meeting of the Board of Trustees. We're a little bit late, almost 2 hours late, for Monday, August 6th. Let's take the roll. And we'll call this meeting to order at 8:14.
Trustee Muhammad?
Here.
Trustee Stubbs? Trustee House?
Here.
Trustee Denton?
Present.
Trustee Pearson? Here. Trustee Henry?
Present.
To call, 5 members of the board are here. We have a quorum. Okay, next thing on the agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance and prayer. We're going to skip that because we did that already. The next thing is the presentation of a GoFundMe campaign donation for Detective Daryl Hope. That's going to be postponed until our next meeting. He wasn't feeling well tonight to accept the check. And now we have general announcements. Any general announcements, Madam Clerk?
Not from me, Mayor.
Okay. Next thing on the agenda is Village Clerk's report. The approval of the minutes from July 16, 2018, regular board meeting, July 23rd, 2018, special board meeting.
Make a motion to approve the minutes of July 16th and 23rd of 2018.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve the board members of July 16th and July 23rd, the regular board meeting on July 16th and the special board meeting on July 23rd. Any discussion on that? Roll call.
Trustee Muhammad?
Aye.
Trustee Stubbs?
Aye.
Trustee House?
Aye.
Trustee Denton?
Aye.
Trustee Pearson?
Aye.
Trustee Henry?
Aye.
All, the motion carries 6 ayes. Next thing on the agenda is communications.
Just one communication, Mr. Mayor, to remind everyone that the Board of Trustees was on its summer schedule, and the next regularly scheduled board meeting is for Tuesday, the day after Labor Day, so it will be Tuesday, September 4th at 6:30.
Okay. Next thing on the agenda is engineer's report. Our engineer was unable to be here tonight with us, but he did forward his report to all the trustees. Is there anything comment or any question in regards to that engineer's report? If not, we'll move forward. Committee reports. Human Services, Trustee Muhammad.
Okay. Human Services, I have 2 items. Number 1 from Ms. Barbara Batten of the Water Department. The total water collections was $536,141.78, and other collections were $370,581.41. The grand total collections were $906,723.19. The dollar amount of water bills that are 120 days or more past due is $802,270. Let me repeat that again so it's clear for the record. $802,274.38. That is an increase of $272,379.49. That is it for the Water Department, and for my other Services Committee. If I can have the persons from Melanie Fitness gather around the microphone at this time. Melanie Fitness members and staff. Melanie Fitness members and staff. Take the microphone. Mr. Window, will you represent? Is Mr. Fields here? Okay. Everyone get around the microphone. About a week or so ago, we had a meeting. We were asked to come to a meeting at the Melanie Fitness Center that is owned by the Village of Dalton. Myself and Trustee Stubbs attended this meeting, and they basically laid out all of the issues, and as you can see, there are a lot of concerns. I see some trainers. I see 1, 2, I just see 2 trainers.
I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you for the opportunity to be able to address the issues at Melanie Fitness, Mayor, trustees, and the
Talking to
citizens
Mike,
of Adalton.
Mr. Williams, pull the mic to your mouth, please.
Melanie Fitness Center provides a wide range of health, fitness, and exercise options and attract a diverse array of members. The environment should provide a level of comfort for most individuals and work well across a large percentage of its members. All fitness centers employ certified, insured instructors and personal trainers. Thus, Melanie Fitness does that. Certified employees are the most knowledgeable regarding health and fitness and provide the greatest amount of detailed information to its members. The instructors and the trainers at Melanie Fitness Center help educate members on how to utilize equipment, design fitness routines with their personal goals in mind, and discuss nutritional aspects associated with good health and weight management. This is the danger of having unqualified instructors in fitness. Number one, it is liability. Number two, injuries, first aid and safety. And unqualified individuals give out false and misleading information. Melanie Fitness has the best qualified instructor staff there is in Dalton. Our quality of good professional service is greatly impacted by the lack of a functional pool and properly maintained fitness equipment. It affects the fitness bottom line as well as the membership retention. And now we have other instructors and other people who like to speak on the behalf. We are not here to beat up management or talk about how that club is run. We are concerned instructors and citizens and members that want to make sure that Melanie Fitness maintain some level of professionalism and some level of standards for the city or the village of Dalton.
Good evening. My name is Ebony Thomas. I've been with the Village of Dalton, Melanie Fitness Center, for 14 years. 2 years as a contractor. That makes 16 years with you all, the Village of Dalton, Melanie Fitness Center. My purpose here is because I'm here to promote health and wellness. I can't do my job if I'm not provided the right equipment. The place is terrible looking. Presentation is everything. When you walk into that place, it looks like you're about to have a funeral. The grass, the weeds, when you bring people over there to cut the lawn and all of that, they only half doing a job. You go inside of Melanie Fitness Center, you have staff, but you don't have enough staff to keep the place up as far as keeping the place clean. You look into the ceiling, you have tile that's falling down. The pool has not been treated since it's been shut down. So that means now mildew. You have a terrible smell. I am a trainer, instructor, and my job is to help people to become physically fit and health conscious. And so I'm a little irritated because I am one that used to bring seminars to Melanie Fitness Center, teaching them about educating themselves on how to become well, okay? How to become their own doctors, you know, holistically. And our members who come not just from Dalton, they come from Chicago, they come from Sauk Village, they come from a lot of different areas. And they have a lot of concern. And I'm very passionate about what I do. And so if you all would give us the love and the respect and to listen to us and come down there and check it out and keep us up what's going on. Do I have to wonder every day, am I going to have a job? Do these people have to wonder every day because you're taking their money out every month? The money is being taken out every month. That's not right. That's very disrespectful. I consider that to be. Because they can go anywhere they desire to go. But they choose Melanie Fitness Center. I was here a little late because Samuel, I picked Samuel up. He lives in the city on 116th. Because that's what we do as trainers and instructors. We extend ourselves. Because we care about these people and all we want to know is what do we need to do next? We're willing to come together and pull our resources and make this club happen. You got too many people sitting in this room that have high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes, cancer. I just lost my father in February. I'm still grieving over that. And every one of these members know that no matter that my father was going through cancer, I was there every day. I don't miss no work. I don't have nobody taking care of me. I have to take care of myself. Thank God. Okay? So my thing is, I'm going to give the mic to to Keisha, and then I want our members. You know, it does not make sense that we have to come into a place and we don't have the tools, no tissue paper, we don't have paper towels, the trash. I mean, what is going on? Give us an answer, and we need it today, tonight.
Ebony. It's up to this board to finance the operation of that Melody Center.
Yes, sir.
And the one person and the other person that joined them in your meeting were at odds at one time because of what was going on. One of the trustees bought the news media here in regards to the Melody Fitness Center, and the other trustee said he can't control what goes on there. Now,
what you mean can't control what?
In regards to the party that they had there.
Okay, because that party was.
Let me finish.
Okay.
Now, you're here today talking about what you're going to do about it. Well, guess who can do something about it? This board. This board right here. And they're the ones that can fund it so something can be done about the Melody Center. So it's totally in their hands. The people that you spoke with and had that meeting. You know, so in order to get money to fund an employee to be hired there, whether it's janitorial or whatever the case may be, in order to have money to treat the pool, we had an inspector come in, and I think there was some bias there. I'm going to be frankly with you. You know, when you have an $800,000 appraisal on that building, and some trustees want to give the building away for $350,000 with just a down payment and then a payment plan, that doesn't help us because we're in payment plans ourselves. Now, it's just like anything else. You open a store, and the trustee mentioned it, you can't spend $22 million when you're only taking in $17 million. Now, the total membership of the Melody Center does not support the operation of the Melody Center. Well, I understand that. I understand that. But any business that cannot survive and does not have a line of credit and can't pick up the phone and say, hey, I need another $150,000 to stay afloat, they go out of business. Now, even though the revenues that's collected from the members, and we owe you a good service, but the only person and the only people that can finance that operation to bring it up where it needs to be, these people right here.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
They in control of the purse.
Well, that's why we're here, Mayor, because, you know, as far as defaming someone's character, I don't know anything. I'm just an employee here. My concerns are, can we come together as one? You know what I'm saying? Because you all, no matter if it's one or two people who can pass the bill as far as getting Melody's up and running where it should be at, you all still have to come to the table and make a decision together collectively so that we can make the things happen. Even if we, the members and the staff, can come together and help you as far as bringing up different ways to bring in money. That's what we're talking about.
And I agree with you wholeheartedly. But you know what? Let's take a look and see what they put in the budget for the Melody Center on the budget. Let's take a look at that, okay? And how much they're willing to spend, to get the pool back open and get it up to where it should be, so it'll be good for the members. It should be in the budget. And we'll take a look and see what's in the budget for the Melody Fitness Center.
Mayor, can I be recognized for a moment? And I recognize that this is your presentation, so I think I want to just speak to on the agenda we do have on there sale of the Melody Fitness. about 4 years ago, I'm sorry, 4 months ago, there was a conversation about the sale of it to another individual who placed an offer, and we had not made any decisions. So the motion that I put on here is so that we can have some kind of a decision if, as a board, we decide that we want to sell it because of some of the financial challenges, then that will be decided tonight. At the same token, if we decide that we want to maintain it, then that would also be decided tonight, and then that gives us direction in terms of how much extra funding we need to. But I will say it will be very difficult because as we've been here for a couple of hours discussing the budget, we recognize that there are some real financial challenges. But to your point, I just lost you, a decision should be made tonight as long as the motion is not tabled.
Keisha, if you would, because I don't want anybody to lose focus of what you're here for. Don't get sidestepped. Focus on what we're here for and what we talked about.
Yes, thank you. My name is Keisha Backstrom, and I am an instructor at Melody Fitness. I've been an instructor at Melody Fitness for at least about 8 years. I left and I came back. The reason why I left, because it was unorganized when I left. And when I came back, it was still in the same shape. Now, what the problem is the community, we all come together, but right now we need the trustees, we need the mayor, we need everybody here to hear our voice. Now, I know Trustee Muhammad, we work together. You used to be a personal trainer. I know you know the downsides and the upsides of Melody Fitness. Melody Fitness is a money-making gym. Okay, we talking about the budget, meeting the budgets. We talking about youth centers and things like that. Melody Fitness is a youth center. It is a place where people come that have different issues with their bodies. We help out with that. Well, we're here, we're trying to find a reason and a decision, trying to make a decision for us, everyone in here. We want answers as far as why the club is looking the way it's looking. We want answers why the pool is not open. We want answers why outside it looks bad. We want answers. And so I'm speaking on behalf of Melody Fitness, the trainers, the members. We want answers. And I'm speaking among all of the instructors and everyone that's there. We need answers, and we need answers today, tonight.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Try to convince this board to get BP Capital to pay us for some of them houses, and maybe we can direct that money towards the Melody Fitness Center. You know.
How does the black realtors in Dawson get in on that?
Thank you. I've had several realtors come and ask me.
Mayor, may I be recognized? Mayor?
I had several realtors companies said, Mayor, why won't we offer the RFP to where we can get in here? We would be more than happy to pay you money for these abandoned houses. But the board chooses to.
Mayor, on my report that I'm giving here, and I want, because we're going long and we have many people that want to voice their opinion. And what you're looking for is a solution tonight. We don't want to politicize as it's being now done.
That's what you did here tonight.
Pardon me, Mayor, with all due respect. We want to hear what you got to say, and we want to come up with a solution tonight. For that gym being closed, the pool for 3 weeks, I understand.
No, over a month. Yes.
How long has it been down?
Almost 2 months.
2 months. That's ridiculous. We need to hear your grievance, and I hope you're not interrupted again. Hear your grievance and let us come up with a solution tonight and not politicize what it is and come up with a solution to your problem.
Well, my issue with the gym is I pay a monthly premium every month faithfully, and I can't utilize that gym like I want to. The pool is down, and I think I speak for just about everybody that's standing up here. We love that pool. And when they shut that pool down, the morale, everything just went out the window. Now, the members that you do have that's keeping the door, so to speak, open, you're going to lose those members if you can't get that pool up and running. And I don't think it's fair to any of us to pay Dalton our premiums and we can't utilize that gym.
Well, I'm going to say this. the board, not the total board, majority of the board took the power from me, and they limited my spending. My spending was, I think, about 10,000. Now it's down to 1,000. Could be even less than that. You know, if I had the power tonight, we could redirect some money somewhere from somewhere else, and I'll get a pool company in there tomorrow to do whatever we need to do to open the pool. I don't have that power. It's up to this board. It's up to this board. The board. It's up to the board to allocate financial resources to get the situation corrected at the Melanie Fitness Center.
Okay.
Well, you know,
can I just make
two of the board members brought you. Two of the board members brought you here tonight. So hopefully they got a solution to finance this situation to correct it.
I want to say one of the biggest things is when I joined Melanie's Fitness Center, I joined because they were the only club that offered so many classes. Okay, and at 4 times a day, you can get water aerobics, 5-6 days a week. Then you got them teaching step aerobics, you got them teaching the hula hoop, you got them teaching so many things. When we lost the pool, okay, it hurted us because some of us have difficulties where we can't do all those exercises. And we talk about health and fitness, we need this. And we talk about them coming together. Ebony used to bring so many classes, so many people to teach us different things. We need this as a people. As we get older and our bodies lock up and then we all in wheelchairs and on walkers and stuff, it's not good. I joined it, but now I'm so concerned because of the cleanliness. You know, you talk about what can we do to bring people in. You bring people in and they look around and they've been to other clubs that actually got clean stuff in there, that actually got towels for you to use, that actually got the thing to wring your swimsuit out, that actually got every time the water, they got cleaning. We don't have enough people. Sanitation is, sanitation is everything. You can get a disease and sickness and illness from that. So we're saying this, we love our club, we love Melanie's. I mean, and we got teachers that teach. You can't get no water aerobics where you get out there pool like, oh my God, they done worked me today. And you know, and the chair aerobics, it's been good, but we want our pool back too, and we want cleanliness as well.
Okay, this is what I'm gonna do tomorrow. Tomorrow, I'm gonna contact a pool company, and I'm gonna get everything done. It's gonna come. Those bills are gonna come within 10 to 30 days to be paid. And it's up to this board to approve the payment of them. So you'll truly see the colors of the board when that bill comes, and they approve or disapprove paying those contractors that's going to come in there. I'm gonna have the whole place, whatever needs to be done. I'm gonna tell you right now, we can't afford the new equipment, but one thing that we can do is make it the hygiene for the atmosphere. We can't correct that, and it's going to be a cost to it. And those bills, like I said, those bills are going to come in 10 to 20 days. But what I'm going to do tomorrow, I'm going to get 2 to 3 pool companies to come in, tell us what we need to get done, and even possibly sign a contract to keep it maintained so it won't be closed. So, like I said, watch when the bills come. I want you all up here, and if they approve it or not approve it. I appreciate you coming tonight. Come to the podium.
Mayor, can I be recognized?
I appreciate you coming tonight. But you know, one of the things, can I have your attention? One of the things that a mayor or a CEO of any company does is try to make things right. But when you have a board of directors or when you have a board that controls exactly what you can do, what you can spend, what you can't do, it makes it very difficult. And who do they point the finger at? The mayor or the president. But there's a lot of things behind the scenes that go on that you don't see. Now, I would have thought if these 2 trustees chose to hold a meeting with you, they would have called the mayor.
Mayor, you don't answer our phone calls, but anyway, can I be recognized?
No, I'm talking. No, I'm talking. So I would have thought, since all of you came out tonight, there should have been a decision made, or they should have invited the mayor to the meeting. But this is And you talk about politics, we don't want to politicize this. This is exactly what this is. It's politics. It's politics. They want that building to be shut down, as you say, so y'all can come in and complain and blame to me. They want that building to be shut down so they can pass it off to somebody for $350,000. They want that building to be devalued, to be devalued so somebody can get it for their benefit.
That's not true.
And I'm gonna tell you. All of a sudden, an inspector shows up and everything's wrong. Everything's wrong. Some of the things that we passed last year, they wrong this year. There's a concerted effort behind the scenes for them to have you come after me.
Mayor, may I be recognized?
Tomorrow, I'm coming up to Melody Fitness Center. We're going to make some calls. And one of the things that Elizabeth does, I said, Elizabeth, get me 3 contractors in there to give me a RFP, give me a proposal on what to get done. Bam, it's done. It's done. I don't see everything. I can't do everything. I can't answer everything. That's what's, you know, the captain is only good as his shipmates. The shipmates make the captain look good. They're the ones behind the scene that's doing the grunt work. They're the ones, you know, in the military, the captains, the generals, Joe, go get them. It's the grunts in the bush that win the war. So tomorrow, I'm going to do what we need to do, and then you just watch the next board meeting when the bills come in and see if they approve what they need to do at the Melody Fitness Center.
Amen. Mayor Riley.
Mayor, you have people asking us.
Mayor, may I be recognized, please?
Go ahead, ma'am. It's their floor. Go ahead, ma'am.
Thank Mayor Riley, and we've already talked about the pool. And without the pool, I wouldn't be there. And without Ebony and Keisha, I was at 330 pounds when I came to them. The pool, although there's other things, is the only thing that I can use. I have degenerative arthritis, and on this Wednesday, I will be in surgery number 8. I went to Ebony's class, I tried it, and the whole class stopped to get me out of there. I cannot do it. Surgery number 8. And I thank you for that. But it's a lot of things that we can do. Not only myself, I'm there, and I have 4 other siblings from Chicago, Lansing, and Dalton that were going to Melody Fitness before the pool closed. So we're thinking health. We're talking about health.
You know what's the uniqueness about the Melody Fitness Center? It has a swimming pool.
Yes.
All of these health clubs are not putting pools in because of the liability. Because of the liability. So if we got a jewel, we need to protect it. And it costs money to protect it. Now we have to figure out a way, and I would think these trustees would figure out a way, not all the trustees, but some of them. I think they would figure out a way to generate enough revenue to maintain the place, rather than give it away. Now, if we make up our mind, this board makes up its mind to try to sell the Melody Center, it needs to be sold at value, at its proper value. And if somebody can, if we sold it and somebody came in and can manage it better than we can, because we're not in the management business, then so be it. But it would probably bring up the standards and new equipment, if that. But why give it away? You know, that's there's so many ways that I think we can make revenue in this building. And you know, and I'm gonna comment earlier about when we sent the mayor the budget. We sent the mayor the budget. This budget came out July 25th. What's today's date? 10 days ago? 10 days ago? Whatever it is. We sent the mayor the budget, and the mayor didn't chime back in. You know why I didn't chime back in? Because 99.9% everything I chime in is voted against. Why waste my time on that? Why waste my time on it? They don't take my input. They don't take my input, because if they would, we wouldn't be trying to eliminate Ed's job.
That's right. That's right.
This came up before, and I'm sorry for taking your time, Melody, members and instructors, but go ahead, continue.
Mayor, trustees, thank you. But the bottom line to this whole thing is, we here because we care.
Thank you.
It ain't no ifs, buts about that. 8 years in the Marine Corps, one of the things, if I didn't learn anything, is commitment. Everything have a general order if you care. Sell it, why sell it when it got potential to do that and more? But every trustee and the mayor got to believe that. Personally, my name is Glenn Sampson. I'm from Flossmoor. I get up at 5 o'clock in the morning every day from Monday through Thursday. Health means more than money. And when you put that on the front part of the burner and understand that it's a possibility that we may just have this wrong, because when you put nothing into nothing, you're going to get nothing. This is just a small inkling of the people that came here. When I left and had to cut my clients, and I'm a personal trainer, it was about maybe 45 people in the gym. So I did a roll call, asked people, hey, why y'all can't come to the gym? They say, because they really don't care. But one thing I can say is, when it's over said and done, everybody that's here and everybody that didn't come here care. The only thing that we personally trying to get y'all to understand is y'all about to make a mistake. And if y'all understand what mistake mean, if you understand what commitment mean, and you can honestly say, we committed ourselves to Melody Fitness Center, then whatever decision you can make, you can sleep good on. But if you know that you did not make a commitment, and anyone that's there every day, I get there at 5 in the morning, I leave at about 9:30, 10 o'clock, come back at 3, leave at about 7:30, 8 o'clock, faithfully. And what I get from that, being faithfully, nothing. God gives me more than I can ever believe that I can receive. So the deal that I made is, I'm going to give back. And when I find myself giving back, I'm blessing people. People that I don't even know at Melody Fitness Center, they know me because of my personality. Every trustee and mayor, that the trainers that's there, making y'all look good. When it's over said and done, we making every one of y'all look good. Now all we need is for y'all to help us look good.
Amen. Amen.
This is hard, but this is easy when you want to do it. I gave up a lot, and I received from God a lot. I don't miss sleep. My wife asks me every day, how can you just be there all day, play with the birds, and then go to bed at about 12 and get up to be at Melody Fitness at 5? Because I made a commitment. One thing I have, if I don't have nothing else, is my word. Every trainer and clients that's at Melody Fitness is trying to tell y'all that y'all making a mistake. Don't need to sell it. All you need to do is just reevaluate what we stopped doing to make this work. It can work. Health is precious than gold. And you can't just bypass that and not understand. People need that. And once every trustee and mayor put that on the front part of the burner and understand that if we save one life, we can save millions of lives. We could take people off medication. We can go on and on and on. But when it's over said and done, it's a family when they come up in there. Melody Fitness Center, if y'all like it or you don't like it, people there have made a commitment to each other for one reason or the other. That's why people still come there. And all we asking y'all to do is just look at it for what it's worth. And if the trainers and the clients are still being supportive of Melody Fitness Center, in spite of how much is going down, we just trying to keep that lifeline right there to make sure that y'all just bring it right back up. Because if the people that's there is there, think about how many more people is going to come back and how many new people that constantly join in the gym, regardless of what the condition is, it's potential there. Every individual that's here, every trainer, every client, and everybody else that haven't came today, as well as the ones that are here today, believe in this place. All we need y'all to understand is we believe in this place, and the people that got the power, y'all don't see that?
I don't have no power.
Glenn.
Show us some love by showing y'all that we can make this work.
Glenn, we ask that you and the members come here today because we wanted the other trustees and the public to know about the issues that's over at Melody Fitness Center, especially the pool. That's why we asked you guys to come here, so you not only can express to the other board members, the mayor, and the residents what was going on with the pool, the cleanliness, because it's a great possibility that some of them was not aware. Like I wasn't aware until maybe 3 weeks ago that the pool was actually down. So I went over there, and then when you had the meeting, and I was invited to that meeting, that was at a last minute thing, but I took time out of my schedule to come over there to hear you guys because I know Melody Fitness Center is very dear to my heart because I knew Melody personally. And therefore, I wanted the other trustees and the mayor and the residents to hear about the conditions. And Mayor, in the event that you have 3 proposals, is it possible you can mail us, the trustees, if you don't mind, a copy of the estimate so we'll know what it's going to cost to get the pool done?
That's doable. The thing that I find out about this board is that it takes them too long to do anything.
Yep.
In event,
and the other thing,
and the other thing, I know that the pool was down. Some of them have jobs. I know one trustee have a very ill daughter. You know, you don't know what's really going on in one's life, but we took the time out to go out there, over there, and hear the members, hear the fitness instructors, and along with the manager.
Trustee.
So therefore, that's all we asked him.
Okay.
And you know,
Trustee, you mentioned the fact you found out about the pool being closed 3 weeks ago. Now you hold emergency meetings and you hold all these other meetings.
It was not.
And you hold all these other meetings. You could have came in, let the trustees know I'm going to hold a meeting. We got to get the Melody Fitness back on track.
You have a trustee that's over Melody's Fitness Center, Mayor.
Who is that?
Also,
who is that?
Oh, we don't. I'm sorry. I was misinformed. I thought we had one that was over there. I wasn't talking about Trustee Mohammed.
He was in charge of the Melody Fitness Center.
I wasn't speaking of him, Mayor. No, that was some time ago. But actually, you have a manager over there. You have, hold on, ma'am. You have a manager over there.
Get anywhere now.
Because you're out of order right now.
You have,
you're right, Mayor. I am out of order.
Yes.
But
okay.
this is what's wrong now.
I still have the mic, Mayor.
Political tonight. Nobody's trying to come up with any solution.
Right.
Everybody wants to dig at everybody.
Trustee, you're out of order, trustee.
Mayor, can I be recognized, please? I'm still giving my report.
No, what we want to do is finish with these members here that have some comment so we can get through this meeting. We've got a ton of stuff on this agenda, and I'm going to just say, if this will help to shorten so we can move forward, I'm going to be there tomorrow, and we're going to get some stuff done.
Thank you, Mayor. And I just want to say, trustees, we don't want to pull down another 2 months. You know, the mayor said it takes the trustees forever to decide on anything. We don't need the pool to be down another 2 months.
I'm going to give you an example. I'm going to give you one example. Hold on a minute. I'm going to give you one example in regards to how long it takes the trustees to make a decision. Now, I'm not saying all of them, but the Fantastic Four. I'm going to tell you how long. I'm going to tell you how long it takes them to make a decision. And I talked about this with the police chief. We had a item on the agenda to hire police officers.
That's what I said. Yeah.
And the person that put it on the agenda, I'm not sure if he put it on the agenda or not, but our chairperson over the Police and Fire Committee tabled it. Tabled it. Have you seen it been brought back up? It happens that way all the time. It takes forever to anything to get done here.
Yeah.
But I cannot get stuff done because everything other than me using the washroom, they took away from me.
If y'all would stop fighting among each other, you could get something done.
Well, hey.
Y'all been talking all day. I've been sitting here listening. I've been living in Dalton for 30 years.
Come around the mic.
I've been living in Dalton for 30 years. And I've been to these meetings, and all of them is between the trustees and the mayor. You're arguing among yourself. You don't care anything about the people. You're supposed to have our interests at heart. Y'all don't care about what's going on with us. Y'all don't care if we need somebody to come out to our house to do stuff. Y'all are worried about, mayor been talking all day long about how nobody lets him do anything. That's what this means. We've been here 3 or 4 hours and haven't gotten anything done. Nothing, because you're arguing among yourselves. Y'all don't care nothing about people. Y'all need to start caring about people instead of yourselves.
Yes, ma'am.
God is not pleased with what's going on in here.
Yes, ma'am.
He's not pleased with what's going on in this room right now. And you're going to reap what you sow because you're hurting people for no reason at all.
Yes, ma'am. And thank you for that. And thank you for that. And as far as this report is concerned, according to the agenda, we'll wrap it up so that you came here for a solution. And as stated before, we were called to this meeting. It wasn't nothing political about it. As a matter of fact, when we met, we said it should not be political. We advised you to come here to voice your concern, which is what you did. A lot of the trustees here are hearing this for the first time. I get calls on a regular basis of the concerns and issues that you have. I, too, was a personal trainer. I know Keisha personally. I know Glenn personally, Wendell, and there's a few people who did not show, I'm sure, because of scheduling conflicts. But this is the solution tonight. The mayor offered a solution, but never has this board ever turned down any requests for upgrading anything to do with Melanie Fitness. You need a heater pump. There's an issue with the women's spa. When those things are brought to the board, we approve it. The things that was addressed to us for the first time is when we met with Mr. Wendell Williams and about maybe 4 other trainers, including Ebony Thomas. This is what I offer you tonight. The mayor just made an offer. We will again get a committee going for the Melanie Fitness Center. A committee going so that we can...
Mayor.
Okay, let me finish.
Mayor, can I make a statement?
Because look what happened. Look what happened today. You're going to get some effect today because 2 trustees came. 2 trustees came and listened to your concerns, and now something will be done as promised to you as soon as tomorrow. And of course, you all can mark your calendars and see that it's done. Number 1, the pool is down. That's number one that has to be done. There's some equipment issues, but let me address this last issue so we can go on about the sale of the Melanie Fitness, because that was mentioned tonight and we need to know about that. The Village of Dalton is not in the business of managing a fitness facility. The Village of Dalton is not in the business of managing the Dorchester, the Melanie Fitness, or any other business entity. You need business people to do that. We have an individual that's willing to purchase. With all due respect, Mayor, I'm doing my report, Mayor. I want to wrap this up because we have a very big agenda, but I want to bring a solution to your concern. The mayor said that he would also bring something tomorrow, and I'm offering to you that we'll have a committee that we can address the manager there, and I thought he would be here tonight, that we can address and be a liaison with the manager to get these things done. So right now, the immediacy of this gym is to get that pool open. That's number one. Number two, to get the place clean. Right? Is that correct? Yes. To get the place clean. Classes are fine. The place needs to be clean. We need some upgraded equipment. We've already set with the manager and the trainers of the facility. We will meet together and make sure that those things happen, because the transition, the Melanie Fitness will be sold, by the way. That's public information. The Melanie Fitness will be sold.
But watch how they vote. Okay. Watch how they vote to give this Melanie Fitness Center away. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this.
Mayor, I'm not through with my report. I'm in the middle of my report.
I'm gonna say this. We're gonna cut your report off right now. We're gonna cut your report off right now. We're gonna cut your report off. I'm gonna say this.
I'm the dictatorship that's here.
I'm gonna say this.
Back and forth with the mayor, but I want you to witness it. He's shutting the dialogue down.
Yes, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. When I came into office, Trustee Mohammed, hey, please, Trustee Mohammed said, Mayor, let me run the Melanie Fitness Center. I've been a trainer there. I know how to manage it. We're going to bring the membership up. We're going to come out of the red and be able to afford this thing. He's the one that managed this. He's the one that managed this. And if there was any genuine effort to make sure that things happen there, he would have came to me 3 weeks ago whenever the pool was down. And I'm going to say this. Our finance person here, Yvonne Redmond, I had a talk with her, and she said, Trustee Mohammed is concerned about the money that's being spent on construction. And the majority of that money that had been spent, and all you know probably know Scott, who works over there at the Melanie Fitness Center, does our repairs. That majority of that money's been spent in the Melanie Fitness Center. Now, if you're so concerned about the construction costs and the money that we're spending over the Melanie Center, then why would you want to reduce the cost? The Melanie Center has been, I'm going to be honest with you, from my opinion, has been neglected. Has been neglected, and only this board can approve the money that it needs to bring it back where it should be, at least of some quality. So we'll put it to the test. We'll put it to the test. I'm gonna do all I can in my power to open that pool back up and bring the standards of the Melanie Fitness Center up where it should be.
Okay. Mayor, I would just like to say something. I know there's been fighting. Number one is you got to get on one accord for anything to happen. And number two, getting a new committee. We don't need the same committee members. We're not using no strippers to open Melanie back up, okay? We need new committee members, someone that's in our interest. So that's all we ask. New member, give somebody else a chance. We need somebody we can trust. Thank you.
Great. You know, can I conclude this presentation by the rest of the members, please? I'll be there tomorrow, and I'll make sure that some changes happen. Trustee Henry, I want to recognize you. You had something to say.
Yes, I did. Thank you. Thank you guys for coming out this evening. I just want you to know that I am with you. If you got any questions or concerns, you have my vote. My phone number 708-297-6859. Again, the number 708-297-6859. So reach out to me. I am a sitting member. You can reach out to anybody on the board, but I do show up and show out for the residents. So please reach out. Thank you.
Was that a public service announcement?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
I just want to say, if you're going to get a committee, why not have some of the members on the committee that are dealing with this on a daily basis, rather than people that are not using the facilities? I don't live in the villages, and I met with you before, Mayor, about the conditions that were lacking at one point. But why not get a if you're going to get a committee? Right.
Now, I want to say this. You know, before 2016, the mayor had the power to appoint the committees, but that was taken away from me too. So the board appoints their own committees, and so you know, when you talk about this form another committee, you know, just take a look at how many committees we have and how many committee meetings that we've had. Nothing to the percentage of committee meetings that we should have. Tonight, to have all of you come out tonight and then parade everybody in front of the microphone is grandstanding. If these two members of the board met with you, all they had to do was call the other members of the board, said, listen, we got to do something about Melanie Fitness right away, and get it done. They hold emergency meetings and special meetings for everything else. Now, you don't think that's important enough to hold a special meeting to get the thing done? When you talk about all these members that are, like you said, paying your money for your service, that's all I got to say. Okay, and then we're going to move on to the next.
Okay, my name is Shannon, and I joined Melody.
Can we hold it down a bit?
A year ago, and when I came there, I suffer from a deteriorating joint disease, and I just want to say I believe that Melody Fitness is a money maker. We have some of the best instructors there. They really care. They make sure it's done. When I walked in there, I was diagnosed with diabetes. I don't have diabetes, and it ain't from the medicine. I have not took not one medicine. The instructors have helped me work through this. I've lost 52 pounds, and I was at the doctor today. My blood pressure is 117/62, and I'm still working on the weight. We have this place can make money. People have seen me and how I've dropped the weight, and they're coming, but you can't come when there's no pool. This is what made me lose the weight. I lost the weight because I couldn't get on the floor and do the regular exercises and work the machines like the other people. You know, now I'm able to because I'm 50 pounds down. But this company, y'all can really, the fitness center, we really can, it can be, you can make the money, you can generate the money because people coming. I'm not from this community, I'm from Matson, and I drive every day. I'm there 5 days a week. When I hit the door, it's 9 o'clock. When I leave the door, sometimes it's 2 o'clock. They're working with me to help me get my health. The medicine, I was taking doggone near 30 pills a day. I'm not even on 15 now, and that's in 1 year. So you can't tell me that the place can't make money if the people that we have that instruct us are good workers, and they bring in people, and people are steady coming. Not one of them have not spoken in my life and told me, eat this, do that. So you have the people there who can train us and get this stuff done. It's a lot of people over here have health issues. It's a matter of them having what's needed to do their job. Now the pool, they taught me, someone came in, they taught us how to swim. And it can happen. You can do it. I mean, this community can make money. That place can be generated. You just got to know what you got to do, and you got to get better managers, and you got to get on one accord, because y'all just all off. This is my first time at the meeting. I'm like, I need to film this so the world can see how funny y'all are. It's ridiculous how y'all act. You got to get on one accord. You want this, y'all want y'all community to succeed?
Get on one accord and then see where y'all go. Until y'all get on one accord, and I'm back there, I'm cracking up. I'm like, Lord, I ain't never this good. I told her, when the next meeting I'm coming, they are too hilarious up there. It's not funny. And the people y'all getting rid of, this young lady, I listen to her talk. She got her resources is what gonna make that money. Y'all better know who y'all getting rid of.
Next thing on the plan. Hold. No, we're closing this.
Okay, we closing.
Okay.
Can I say something, Mayor, please?
I know how long-winded you can get.
I'm not going to be
Okay, all right.
I'm not going
This
to
is
be
about the Melanie
long-winded.
Fitness Center now.
Okay, this is about Melanie Fitness.
Yes.
Now, we got rid of the Dorchester. We're getting rid of Melanie Fitness. Mr. Muhammad, you were managing Melanie Fitness, but you say we're not in the business of managing Melanie Fitness. How many buildings, how many businesses are we going to get rid of in this village?
You want me to answer that question for you? The Dorchester was costing us about $1 million a year to keep it open. $900,000+ a year to keep the Dorchester open. When I say we, the residents of Dalton, through their taxes, had to subsidize keeping that facility open with the tune of over $900,000 per year on the Dorchester. We sold it for about 2.6.
Now we're going to sell Melanie
the fitness center. The fitness center has cost us over the years millions of dollars.
Mm-hmm.
The new owners are going to upgrade the place. They're going to do equipment upgrades. They're going to do all that.
We have new owners right now.
The new owners who are in the process of purchasing.
In the process, so they don't own it right now. So they're not. If they're in the process, they're not the new owners.
There's no contract. They have conspired. They have conspired to give this Melanie Fitness Center away.
If you answer my question, please answer accurately. If they haven't bought the facility, they are not the new owners, the prospective owners.
We have a letter of intent from the prospective owner, a letter of intent. We have a preliminary agreement. Whatever the cost is to sell the Melanie Fitness Center is a savings to the village, number one. Number two is to upgrade the facility of all the things that we're talking about right now.
Do you know the Melanie Fitness Center is the only pool in the village of Dalton?
I understand.
We don't have a pool at the Park District.
We don't have a disagreement there, but you're asking the question of the new ownership. The Dorchester we couldn't manage because we're not in the business of managing a senior care facility. It cost us $900,000 a year to keep it open, about $80,000 to $90,000 a month. The expenses to the Melanie Fitness Center has gone down substantially, but over the years we have not made a profit.
Do you know that people are paying paying their dues at that center, and in their dues that pool is included in that center. You yourself have sued Dalton for firing you from that center. These people have a right to sue Dalton because they're not getting their needs fulfilled with their membership.
Now, you were given some misinformation in the very beginning. A lot of that is not true what was said. Number one, it was said we got these hundreds of thousands of dollars.
They said that there's no pool and they pay membership where there was a pool included.
Conflating two issues. Let's talk about the Melanie Fitness Center.
I'm talking about the Melanie Fitness. Where else is there a pool?
Now you're talking about the suit or the Melanie Fitness Center?
I'm talking about all of it.
Okay, let's talk about the Melanie Fitness Center.
Okay, we're talking about the Melanie Fitness Center. My comment about the lawsuit was when you worked there, you filed a lawsuit for wrongful.
Not true.
You did not sue the village?
That's not true.
About your employment at Melanie?
That's not true. You want me to tell you or?
Yeah, tell me because I read wrong on the internet.
Okay, no, whatever you read, now this is the truth. I was a former employee of the Village of Dalton. I was the media director, along with the human resources director and a public relations person. Mm-hmm. We were hired by the mayor. They did not take us through the board. The board wrote us out of the budget.
Like you're doing now.
They wrote us out of the budget. They wrote us out of the budget because we were not taken through the process
That's
with
not
the
true.
trustees.
That's not true.
All you got to do, it's public record.
It's
All you
not
got to
true.
do is look
And
it
you
up.
weren't taken through the process properly, so you sued them.
No, it was not taken properly. That's the problem.
And you're not taking them through the proper process of unemploying them, and they're going to sue the village
I don't
too.
want to get debating with you back
listen,
and forth.
listen.
I tell you what we do. Let's talk after.
We're gonna have
because we got to.
Well, I'll wait for citizens address, because
Yeah.
there's a few things I want to address, like residents getting jumped with petitions and things of that sort.
You mean a petition that says the mayor is being reelected, but it had nothing to do with his reelection?
Absolutely not. The petition that I had as well that said that Board of Trustees should have a term limit. Okay? Because when you get this position, all of a sudden you turn into kings and queens, and you're elected trustees that we can't trust. I have come to you all, even before you was elected, asked about my water bill money. I never got my $3,000-something odd dollars. Stan wanted to be smart, saying he'll never refund a Dalton resident. But whenever you guys need money, you get it, don't you? But Stan is gone now. Everybody want to complain. He wore a necklace with an eagle on there that's a symbolism of white supremacy, and nobody knew he was a white supremacist. I knew that. And you surprised that he's making racial and discriminatory remarks and working for the village? He pee in the parking lot. And then you kept him as a consultant. You kept him as a consultant. You said yourself that he disrespected the Honorable Minister Farrakhan. But you kept him as a consultant. Why? Why are we hiring thieves? And why are we begging people that we're voting for? I'm not begging nobody I voted for. I'm not begging nobody I voted for. Period. And if I don't get my water bill funds, I'm taking it to court. Period. And I'm going to call the news. Period.
Okay.
Play with yourself.
Wow. Okay. Thank you for your comment. Next thing on the agenda.
Hey, Mayor.
Next thing on the agenda is Trustee Henry Planning.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you guys for coming out. Thank you guys for staying so late. I will be brief. I had a committee meeting on Monday, July on the 30th at 6 o'clock, and we discussed the following: lawn care, we discussed housing fees and BP Capital, and we also discussed the South Suburban Land Bank. Under new business, we discussed maintenance of trees and bushes, and then the last item was a RFP, a request for proposal regarding BP Capital. Unfortunately, my board did not show up, which consisted of Trustee Stubbs and Trustee Pearson. So I then held a town hall meeting where some residents did get up and speak and address their concerns regarding BP Capital. I did place it on the agenda, like I told you guys, to basically approve the following, which is the housing fees increases, and that's regarding like purchasing a house in the village of Dalton, and also to put out an RFP for BP Capital. So you'll hear from that shortly. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee. Next thing on the agenda is Police and Fire, Trustee Pearson.
Department Operations.
I'm sorry. It's Department of Operations, Trustee Stubbs.
Good evening, residents. Thank you for coming out and thank you for staying so long. Public Works Productivity Report for July 2018. This report was presented by Superintendent Matt Stacy. Public Works has cut and cleaned 46 vacant property lots, walkways, and islands. Public Works has checked and repaired 28 street lights. Public Works has cut down 10 dead trees and trimmed 23 trees. Public Works has installed, checked, and repaired 3 street street signs. Public Works has repaired 12 B boxes, one water main break, and cleaned 18 sewers. Public Works has been out repairing potholes throughout map areas. SWAT was out on July 2nd collecting trash along the village streets. Public Works has worked on shut-off delinquent properties. We have successfully shut off 97 properties. We found 54 properties at our dig jobs. 9 properties have made payment arrangements with the water department. We also completed 5 emergency water turnoffs. Public Works have successfully restored 9 properties after water main breaks, B-box repairs, and sewer repairs. Public Works mechanics have serviced 3 police department vehicles, 2 housing department vehicles, and 9 public works vehicles, along with miscellaneous jobs that have come into the shop. This is a reminder. Put your garbage out the night before your garbage pickup day, along with any debris you may have. Homewood is picking up yard waste and tree branches. Use brown bags, not plastic. Please cut your branches into 4-foot sections, tie and bundle them together. If you have any questions or concerns, you can call Public Works 708-201-3280 or 708-201-3281. Business hours are from Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. For immediate assistance after hours, please call our 911 dispatch center at 708-201-3242. That's the end of my report, Mayor.
It sounds like an awful lot of work to be wanting to cut the department.
I don't know if that list is accurate because I didn't get an opportunity to go around.
Oh, here
and
we
check
go with
it.
accuracy now. That should have been checked before you read it.
Okay.
Let him go, let him go.
Okay, because I just got the report
Police
today.
and Fire, Trustee Pearson.
Good evening. From Chief Collins, we have 200 traffic violations, 404 parking violations, 30 criminal arrests, 15 warrants, 8 aggravated assault and battery, 1 forcible rape, 0 murders, 13 robberies, 12 burglaries, 20 motor vehicle thefts, and 63 thefts, and 0 arsons. The chief had a report that he was going to present tonight, and we're going to try to present that later in the week. It was a safety initiative. Well, I won't go into it, but it's about hiring police and fire. It's actually a safety initiative, not just a police initiative. We'll try to get that shown, or presented, I should say, later in the week. From Chief Dyer, this is from January 1st to July 31st. Fires was 140, motor vehicle accidents 170, emergency medical service 1,896, hazardous conditions 99, fire service calls 163, fire alarm calls 224. That's a total of 2,692 calls. Back on that police report, that was a total of 2,348 calls for service. I understand that Fire Station 2 is closed. Mayor, could you give us a update as to what your plans are with the fire station? The union is complaining, a couple residents are complaining. Not complaining, they say they're concerned about fires on their end of town, and they think that response times would be an issue, and so does the union think that it would be an issue. And then also several firemen have spoken to me, so I'm asking you, what is your intentions with the station? Do you intend to open it back or keep it closed?
My intention is to keep it closed for now. Now, there was a list submitted to the fire chief in regards to what the firefighter mentioned in this list was some health hazards. So I go over to the fire station, we walk through it, and I saw that there was construction being done in the fire station, extensive, which we didn't know about. We did an air quality check there, and it was within standards, but there was about 15 different items, I don't have it here tonight, that they said raccoons was living in there, there was mold, there was some other issues that they thought was, at least as this firefighter presented this list, that he thought that was some health issues. So I closed it. And this board always saying that we don't have any money to do anything. Some of the items that was on that list would cost some money. So I was approached by the union representative, said, Mayor, this is going to cause an issue for you, you know, in regards to responding to fires or emergency issues on that side of town. One of the things that I tried to do before this board a couple of years ago was to build a new fire station. Everything with fire and police we have here is antiquated. Police cells, there's no video in there. You know, we have to bite the bullet on certain things. Now, if you want to have safety, you have to pay for it. So, any rate, they said, well, you know the response time, Mayor. So what I did, I got in my car. I have a village-owned car with emergency lighting, and I waited till mid-traffic, and I drove from Fire Station 1 to the furthest point in the village if there was an emergency call. It was about a delay of about a minute, and not even a minute and a half. One thing you have to realize is that when these fire department vehicles and police respond to emergency situations, they activate their lights and siren, which usually minimizes the time that they get there than if they would drive normally. I did not think, Ms. Creighton, there will be citizens' address, okay? So I would like that you would make your response during citizens' address. That's not the case, and it's never happened. It's never happened. And there was another issue that I recognize, and be straight with you. Some firefighters don't like to be in the same house with other firefighters.
Okay.
I've always supported the fire department, and once again, it's up to this board to approve funding to get whatever needs to get done.
I'd like to finish my report. Thank you, Mayor. I appreciate your comments. My opinion, I would spend the money to get the firehouse back open, because I wouldn't want somebody to die because of response time, or to get hurt in a fire, or medically. So as a board member, I would spend the money to do whatever is necessary down there. The reports that I was privy to was showed the air quality was better than outside, or as good as outside air. There was some mold that they said it could, power washing could take care of that. I was told we did not get an asbestos report, but that the station was built after they stopped using asbestos. I don't know if that's true. So I would spend a little money. I don't think it would be very expensive at all to get the station back open. And I did hear about the issue you just mentioned, but I just think that if it's not a savings to the village to shut it down, and it helps the west side and the northwest side with the response times, and we should get it back open. And people are really concerned, and my biggest concern is not politics or not whatever happened down there, but that we have the best response time to the residents.
Why don't we just bite the bullet and build a new police station and fire station? I mean, our stuff is antiquated, you know, and my proposal to build a new fire station was right there next to the Melanie Fitness Center.
Mayor, can I answer that?
Go ahead.
We can't even pay Chicago. How are we going to build a fire station? We owe Chicago $8 million. The board is tasked with trying to figure out how to come up with the payment to pay the city of Chicago. And we can't come up with the money, and you want to spend $5 million. I don't, where are we going to get it from?
The proposal for a new fire station was not $5 million. It was $2.8 million.
But where are we going to get that from?
Now, okay, you talk about money. You want me to sign off on 18 deeds that we didn't get a dime for. Didn't get a dime for. And there are realtors, like this young lady said earlier, that have approached me and said, Mayor, why don't we let us get a chance to put in, and we will pay you some money for those houses.
Mayor, do you really believe that?
I honestly believe it, because
do you think that would turn this village around? Because if we stopped right now with BP Capital,
yes.
Do you think that's going to turn this village around?
It's not going to turn. It's not going to turn the village around, but it certainly help.
Because you know that's
certainly help. You know it will certainly help. I want to see who BP Capital is selling these houses to, and for what amount. That's what I want to see.
Mayor, we were talking about building a police and fire station, just like you sat here and said I could fix the pool. You know, you have to come up with the money.
Well, I mean,
and to sit here and tell people that, I mean, anybody could do that. I could go home and say, I'm buying a brand new Cadillac tomorrow. But when I got to pay the bill, if I ain't got the money, I didn't do that. That was just all flamboyant.
Trustee, I can bring you 3 real estate investors, like BP Capital is supposed to be, that will offer us money for those vacant houses. Now, will you change your vote to give it to those people?
Let me ask you a question, Mayor.
Go ahead.
Where were they before we bought in BP Capital?
What do you mean, where were they? You didn't even allow anybody to present a presentation.
Okay. All right. I'm done with my report.
BP Capital was stuffed down our throats.
Mayor, I'm done with my report.
Thank you. Finance, Trustee Muhammad.
I make a motion to pay the corporate payments of $489,951.92 with a gross payroll of $364,625.59, with Melanie Fitness at $8,548.44 with a gross payroll of $2,522.63. Total corporate payments of $865,648.58. Can I get a second, please?
Second.
Okay, it's been motion and second to pay the finance, the corporate bills as mentioned by Trustee Muhammad. Any discussion? No discussion. Roll call.
Trustee Muhammad.
Aye.
Trustee Stubbs.
Aye.
Trustee House.
Aye.
Trustee Denton.
Aye.
Trustee Pearson.
Aye.
Trustee Henyard.
The motion carries. 6 ayes. Yeah, right. Trustee Henyard, special
thank you. I'm gonna be brief. Cancer Walk, you guys. You know we do it every year. I'm shooting for October because that is Cancer Awareness Month. If you guys would like to participate or sit on my cancer committee, please contact me at 708-297-6859. Yes, I give my number out tons of time throughout the meeting. 708-297-6859. And also, I still help people with loan mods, and if you're in foreclosure or need help, and I do help others that do not live in the village of Dalton as well. Thank you.
Okay, next thing on the agenda is old business. Old business
You out of order.
item A. Item 8, approval of Kane and McKenna and Associates Incorporated as a consultant for the 300 West Sibley Tax Increment Financing District, otherwise known as TIF, and it's put on by Trustee Henry.
Thank you. I put this on the agenda the last time as well. I'm trying to basically get approval to start a TIF district at the 300 West Sibley area. Attorney Murphy, can you kind of like explain why it is we're moving this forward and that we have agreement with the guys in order to start the TIF district, please?
Yes, part of our settlement agreement of the 300 West Sibley case was that we would go through the process to establish that property as a TIF district and have the TIF district in place right around the time that we're scheduled to acquire the property through the county's no cash bid process. We're scheduled to acquire the property from the county right after the first of the year, and the TIF process itself takes 4 to 6 months. Therefore, this in my mind is the appropriate time to get the TIF process started. I got proposals from 3 firms. This particular firm does a lot of work in the south suburbs, and they did a preliminary TIF study. So we're obligated to do this under the settlement agreement, and now is the time to get it going.
Thank you. I would like to make a motion to approve Kane and McKenna and Associates for the TIF district.
I move to table this item to the next regular village board meeting.
Second.
Exactly what the mayor says. This board sits here and does nothing. They drag their feet.
Clerk,
Again,
there
a
is no
TIF district is
discussion
something for
on
economic development to help
Clerk.
the community. And here it is again. They want to table.
Clerk, there is no
They have to stop
discussion on the
tabling and
table,
do the
clerk.
business of the people. We don't do anything for the residents because all we do is table. When we're bickering a mayor with one another, they table. Why not entertain us? The attorney just stated that we have an agreement that we have to start this. He just stated we need to start it now.
Motion has been
Is you not going to
tabled.
listen to
There's
the
no
attorney?
discussion.
What's
Robert's
the
rules
reason?
orders,
There
no
is
discussion on the
She's
floor.
not discussing anything. She's just making a statement.
Thank
Trustee.
you. Thank you, Mayor.
Attorney Murphy.
She is
Thank
not.
you.
Attorney Murphy.
Okay, we're going to take the roll on this. Go ahead.
On the motion to table by Trustee Muhammad, second by Trustee Pearson.
No, it was seconded by Trustee Stubbs.
You're right, I'm sorry. Trustee Muhammad.
Aye.
Trustee Stubbs.
Aye.
Trustee House.
No.
Trustee Denton.
Aye.
Trustee Pearson.
Aye.
Trustee Henyard.
No.
4-2.
42, motion doesn't pass. Next thing on the agenda is the sale of the Melanie Fitness Center. Trustee House.
I'm going to put this on the agenda, and I think it, as the members stated that worked there, some months ago we talked about the sale of the Melanie Fitness Center, and we had not come to a conclusion. So I wanted to maybe, well, two parts, and I don't know the right way to present it, so maybe Attorney Murphy, you can help me with this. One, to see if we can have a vote on whether or not we are going to move forward with the sale. If we don't move forward, we know we need to invest in it. The second part being the sale, the way that we would implement the sale. Are we going to get a real estate agent, or will we move forward without a bid?
I think you could break it off just the way you said. The first motion would be the policy decision, a motion to commit the village to sell the Melanie.
And I think my question goes, because if my vote would be different. If we're not going to do a real estate agent to sell it, then my vote would change.
Well, you could combine it. You could say, you could make a motion to seek broker proposals in order to sell Melanie.
Okay, so my motion then is to seek broker proposals for the sale of Melanie Fitness.
What was your motion?
The secret brokerage to advocate the sale of the commission. Okay, it's been motioned and second to use a brokerage to advertise and sell the Melanie Fitness Center. Any discussion on that? No discussion. Roll call.
Trustee Muhammad.
No.
Trustee Stubbs. I'm sorry, was that
No.
Trustee Stubbs? Trustee House.
Aye.
Trustee Denton.
Aye.
Trustee Pearson.
No.
Trustee Henyard.
Aye.
3-3.
Guess what? Aye. You know, on one hand, you say we've already got an intent, a letter of intent. We've already got an agreement. So, you know, why bring these Melanie members and trainers here tonight when you've already made up your mind? You're looking for a solution, but you already made up your mind. We're gonna sell it. You know, so, you know, I'm thinking right now, should I go tomorrow and say, hey, we're gonna fix the pool? Or should I clean the place?
You should keep your word and do what you told them you do, and keep your word for change.
So what am I supposed to do? Clean it up and get it right for the next people you plan on giving it away to? Thank you, Trustee Denton. They're going to be mad at you tomorrow, Trustee Denton.
They mad at me.
I'm telling you. They're going to be mad at you. They're going to be mad at you. But that's all right. You can call me.
I don't know about that, Mayor.
Yeah.
Might be on your list.
Now,
He's going to throw you under the bus.
but anyway, we're going to move forward. The next thing on the agenda is the South Suburban Land Bank and Development Authority. And this is also put on by Trustee House. So you've heard a lot from Ms. Sandra Wells in regards to this issue. So I'd like to get a motion for the South Suburban Land Bank and Development Authority.
A motion to add South Suburban Land Bank Development Authority.
Second.
Okay, it's been motion.
Motion to table this indefinitely.
Second.
Here we go.
Second.
Now you heard it. So there's a motion to table it. What happens when you get a motion to table it is that
trumps the move.
what happens? You're out of order, Trustee. Most
Let
what
the
happens.
attorney tell you.
What happens when they put a table in is the fact that, and you heard seconded to table it indefinitely. Now, if there was a fair proposal and they were really concerned about fairness, why wouldn't you want another participant?
No discussion on the table, Mayor.
That's fine. That's fine. Okay. I understand what table mean. Now, if you
there's no discussion on the table, Mayor.
I understand what a table is. Now, if you wanted to think fairness and transparency, why wouldn't you want? Why wouldn't you want another?
Clerk Murphy, would you please step in? He's violating Robert's rules. There's no discussion on the motion.
You done?
To table.
Are you done?
You're in violation of the rules,
Are
Mayor.
you done? Simply, if you wanted fairness and transparency, why not have another person or another company that participate in the giveaway of these abandoned houses?
Yep.
The next thing on the agenda is, oh yeah, that's right, we gotta get a vote. Second, motion by Trustee Stubbs, second by Trustee Muhammad.
On the motion to table, Trustee Muhammad.
Aye.
Trustee Stubbs.
Aye.
Trustee House.
No.
Trustee Denton.
Aye.
Trustee Pearson.
Aye.
No.
And say Trustee Pearson.
Aye.
Trustee Henyard.
No.
4-2.
4-2, it doesn't pass. Now you're back in the good graces, Trustee Denton.
Mayor, I wish you would stop personalizing it with all due respect, Mayor. You shouldn't personalize it with Trustee Denton.
Do you know what? You could have a lot of wishes, and I know you want to be mayor.
People at home
and I know
see it. You
want to
shouldn't
be mayor.
personalize it with Trustee Denton.
And I know you want to be mayor, but tonight I'm running the meeting, Trustee Muhammad.
You're right.
Next thing on the agenda is notice of intent for the suit against Mayor Rogers.
Can I be recognized, please?
No, I'm not done reading this. Notice of intent for suit against Mayor Rogers, Invest in Dalton resolution authorizing legislative counsel, that's another bill we have to pay another attorney, to file suit against the mayor to require issuance of the real estate transfer tax declaration stamps. And that's by Trustee Muhammad.
I make a motion to pass the following resolution, and I'll read it into record. Whereas the village board has duly approved the Invest in Dalton program, which includes the village acquiring tax delinquent properties by legal action, to then make these properties available by lottery to persons wishing to be residential occupants for the purpose of providing affordable home ownership, increasing owner-occupied residential homes in the village, and placing these properties back on the real estate tax rolls of the village. And whereas the mayor has directed staff not to sign and has refused to sign the required documents, including but not limited to real estate transfer tax declarations, to complete the property acquisitions authorized by the village board in dereliction of his required duties under the law. Now, therefore, it be resolved by the mayor and board of trustees of the village of Dalton, Cook County, Illinois, in the exercise of its home rule authority as follows. Section 1. Robbins Schwartz, Legislative Counsel for the Village of Dalton, is hereby authorized and directed to file suit on behalf of the trustees of the Village of Dalton against Mayor Riley H. Rogers to obtain a court order directing him to execute and/or issue all documents required to be executed to implement the Invest in Dalton program, including but not limited to real estate transfer tax declarations. Section 2. Any policy or resolution of the Village of Dalton which conflicts with the provisions of this resolution shall be and is hereby repealed to the extent of such conflict. Section 3, this resolution shall take effect upon its passage and approval in the manner provided by law. I make a motion that that is passed.
Second.
Okay, it's been motioned and been seconded to Subi.
Okay, let me get a moment. Gotcha.
For not the issuance of real estate transfer tax declaration stamps. Any discussion?
Yes. Mayor, again, if you look at the wording that you wanted to read, it says the intent. We can forego any litigation whatsoever if you would do what's required by the ordinance, and that is sign the documentation. This is an intent to sue. And this is the only way that we can get you to come to the table to sign the needed documentation to put these residents in homes, owner-occupied homes, not investor homes. So to avoid the suit, Mayor, this is an intent to sue. All you have to do is sign the documentation, and then there will be no suit.
Well, in your narrative, you said directed. I refuse. I directed my employees, I think it was, not to sign those documents. Now, first of all, I've never directed anybody to not sign them. And secondly, if they had the authority to sign them, I wouldn't need to sign them. So, what I'm saying right now is that everything takes time, Trustee Muhammad. I've had some issues that I felt had taken some precedence in regards to with my recent death of my mother, and a lot of other pressing matters here that happened in the village. I never said that I wouldn't refuse, that I refused to sign it.
Can I motion that we table the notice of intent to sue?
Second.
Okay. All right, no discussion on the table.
It's got to be voted in, man.
It's got to be voted, yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
1 second. On the motion to table item D, and this is not for purposes of discussion, but just to note, Trustee Muhammad, you indicated this was a resolution. I do not have a copy of the resolution that you read, and if anybody else does, please let me know. Okay, on the motion to table. Motion by Trustee House, second by Trustee Henyard. Trustee Muhammad.
No.
Trustee Stubbs.
No.
Trustee House.
Aye.
Thank you. Trustee Denton.
I done lost track. You threw me off track. What am I
trying to?
Motion to table.
Okay, no.
Okay.
Say aye.
Say aye. You can make it work.
No.
It's an aye.
Intent to sue.
Yeah.
And we want to table this to another time.
Yes.
No.
That's the motion.
No, we gotta get this done. It's gotta be done. So my vote is...
Still gonna be mad.
Not to table.
Turn on your mic, trustee, if they can hear you, please.
We have to get this taken care of, Mayor. We don't want to sue, but we got to get these signed. So my vote is no. Don't table it. Let's do this.
Trustee Pearson.
No.
Trustee Henyard. Aye. 4-2. Motion fails.
To vote on the main motion.
I broke mine.
The motion stands on the main motion for the intent of suit.
And may I ask again, Trustee Muhammad, do all the members of this board have copies of the resolution you're asking them to vote
No,
on?
I've given them to the clerk. If you could make copies, please.
There they go.
Wow.
Big deal.
You see, the disrespect continues. The disrespect continues. Trust.
It's intent.
Oh, boy.
What's that?
All I'm gonna say is that we got enough signatures on them petitions.
Yeah. I haven't been eating it, so I should have some. Yeah, a couple of them.
I answer a question of the parliamentarian. Wait till the group gets back. They're in recess.
Trying to get through it fast, so. You got to make copies of that. You made copies of everything like that. She had sent that to the clerk. She did. No, she sent that to the clerk.
Such time as we fix it, we can demonstrate what
I thought Kathleen sent that to you already. That's why I didn't have copies.
the water smell. So that's where we're at.
Some briefing of that.
Think we're in the wrong... Oh, look, I just sat in the mayor's chair. How Freudian of me.
Next, though, is the city of Chicago.
Okay, then. I guess I'm...
Business deal. City of Chicago. City of Chicago, that's where we at. This is how I keep up to deals.
The time it'll be in April, the one depends what passes. The one. It's the dovetail, which school election.
Pardon me, Chair, we do have a full agenda. Can we please proceed with the meeting? Because this is a pretty full agenda, and this budget is going to take quite a while to do. Can we please come out of recess and continue the agenda? Chair?
chair. Okay. Now, does everybody have a copy of these, what they voted on that they didn't have?
We have to vote on it.
Okay. All right, go ahead, Madam Clerk.
Okay, we had a motion to table which failed, so on the motion to pass resolution under item D, old business, was there a motion? It was by Mohammed initially, yes, and was there a second? Second by Trustee Pearson. Any discussion further?
Any discussion for this? No discussion, roll call.